Betts back with a fastball in the same location, and Locklear's in an 0-2 hole.
So what do you make of Stud still wasn't announced as a starter until we both got here? It was a TBA. What do you make of that?
Well, I don't know if it's gamesmanship because, quite frankly, I don't know how much coaches really change their lineup at this time of the year. They may move guys up. If we're facing a lefty, this guy about seventh instead of second, but I think Liberty had a good idea as to the three pitchers they were going to face, and Locklear skies out to Townsend in center field. 3 up, 3 down for Studstill in the top of the first. To the bottom of the first we go, scoreless, first place to be decided between FGCU and Liberty. Bottom of the first here at Swanson Stadium. 3 up and 3 down for Mason Studstill and the Eagles in the top of the first. Now junior righty Andrew McInvale. His 14th start of the year, 80 innings pitched in 13 previous starts. So as I mentioned, that gets you into the 7th inning on average. Greg gave up just 66 hits in those 80 innings pitched and averages over a strikeout an inning. And, well, teams are hitting just .227 against Andrew McInvale. Top of the order for FGCU will be Richie Garcia, Alex Brait, and Jay Hayes. Behind McInvale is Logan Matthew at first, Will Wagner at second, Cam Locklear at short, Tyler Gallazin at third. Behind the plate, Jonathan Embry, Gray Betts in left, Jalen Guy in center, and Brandon Rohr is around in right.
Yeah, I mentioned it before. McInvale also on the Pitcher of the Year watch list. We have a good pitching matchup here on Thursday night.
And McInvale comes up and in with a fastball, ball one to Garcia. The third baseman hitting .295 on the season, 4 homers, 25 RBIs. Fastball, check swing, it's in there for a strike. Garcia and Brait, the top of the order, Greg, are the 2 players for FGCU that have not only played in every game this year, but that have started every game this year. The 1-1, skied behind first base. Matthew looking for it. Right fielder Rohr. No, it's the second baseman Wagner who's got it. So a pop up behind second, and eventually Will Wagner corralled it for the first out.
Yeah, we're only one batter in for FGCU, but I see a lot of similarities between Studstill and McInvale. 2 similar type pitchers, good velocity. You and I have been here throughout the year, a handful of games. We've seen some soft throwers that FGCU has struggled with, so it's nice to see somebody with a little more velocity.
Alex Brait, left-hand hitting catcher, takes a fastball right down the heart of the plate for a strike. Brait hitting .324, which is second on the team in hitting. 3 homers, 28 RBIs. And the 0-1 sliced to fairly deep left field, but Betts has got a beat on it. No, he does not. He watches it sail over his head and over the wall. Alex Brait's 4th home run of the year. That ball kept carrying. With a little help from a wind, Betts thought he had it the whole way.
Yeah, You and I both didn't anticipate a home run there.
No!
The ball jumped off his bat a little bit. Betts just kept on going back, and I noticed he's getting pretty close to the wall there. So an opposite field, a little bit wind-aided, but again, high-velocity pitcher. Brait jumped on a fastball.
And hits his 4th home run of the year. The wind was blowing out the straightaway left field when that was hit. And it was a wind that I would say would help it 5-6 feet, maybe, that type of wind. But I'm with you, Greg. I thought when that came off the bat, that was one of those a step or two before the warning track. It would be caught, and that's how Betts was going back on it. Meanwhile, Andrew McInvale zeroes in on Jay Hayes.
Hayes was fooled badly on that curveball. Wasn't expecting that one.
Nope, because he thought he was getting a 1-0 fastball, and instead now the count 1-1. And that one, a fastball, belt high, and ripped to left field for a base hit. So the Eagles have their hitting shoes on early. Hayes aboard, 1 away, 1 run in. And here's the senior left fielder, cleanup hitter Keith Stevens. Leads the team with a .329 average, 2 homers, 26 RBIs.
A-Sun Player of the Week last week, coming off a really solid week. Helped out with a couple big wins at NJIT.
Well, much needed because the Eagles had lost 4 in a row before that makeup doubleheader in which they swept the Highlanders to maintain first place in the A-Sun coming into this matchup. Just a half game separating the two teams. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. And Stetson may benefit because FGCU and Stetson is the game that got rained out that neither team will make up, and that half game is the difference with Stetson right now being in the A-Sun playoffs or being the 7th seed and being out. Fastball up and in. Stevens fists it out of play, 1-2.
I'm going to say it again, David. I think this is going to be a good hitting night already so far for FGCU because of the quality of the pitcher. We've seen a lot of soft-throwing pitchers here at Swanson Stadium this year that FGCU has struggled with, especially the pop-ups.
McInvale, curveball misses, 2-2. Hayes has not attempted a stolen base all year. He has a modest lead off first. From the stretch, McInvale, the 2-2 to Stevens. Curveball, Stevens lays off it. Now the count goes full at 3-2. Would you put Hayes in motion?
No, not right now.
Well, you couldn't say that no fast enough.
Yeah.
So in other words,
let Stevens have a good at-bat here without worrying about the runner going. He did a good job of laying off that last curveball.
Hayes pretends as if he goes, stops, and a third straight breaking ball by McInvale is low, and so it is a 1-out walk. First and second for the Eagles. And McInvale looks into the dugout. Head coach Scott Jackson giving him some signs, but not coming out of the dugout to calm him down. He trusts McInvale, the junior, who right now is facing first baseman Cole Gilmore. And he misses low, ball 1. So 4 in a row out of the strike zone here for McInvale. Gilmore hitting .283 on the season, 4 homers, 38 RBIs. And the first baseman, Matthew, playing behind Stevens at first. Shortstop Locklear trying to keep Hayes close at second. Gilmore takes inside, ball 2. McInvale's strikeout to walk ratio, Greg, is right around 3-1. In 80 innings, he's walked 28. So that's about 1 every 3 innings.
On paper, this is not the start that we thought McInvale would have.
Absolutely not. The 2-0. Grounded right side. Throw over to second 1. Back to first. And that's a 3-6-3 double play. Matthew to Locklear and back to Matthew. and McInvale gets out of it. But the solo homer by Alex Brait has given FGCU a 1-0 lead as we head to the second inning.
That was big right there.
Sure was. Top of the second inning, Swanson Stadium. FGCU with a 1-0 lead. Alex Brait, a solo homer, second batter of the game for the Eagles. Mason Studstill beginning his second inning of work after a 1-2-3 first inning. He'll face 4, 5, and 6 in the Flames lineup. Will Wagner, Logan Matthew, and Ben Highfill.
Will Wagner is their best hitter, David, hitting at .326. He's played in all but one game. Hitting in the 4-hole here.
5 homers, 37 RBIs to go with that .326 average, and he takes one outside, ball 1. 3 fly balls for Studstill in the first inning. Wind blowing out a little towards left, and that one sliced to Stevens in left field, and he fields it on a hop, and first hit of the game for Liberty.
I think if Stevens had to do that over again, he might try to come in and catch that. But if he does not get in front of that, that goes all the way to the wall. Probably a pretty good decision by Stevens to let it drop.
And Wagner with decent speed because he's got 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts. So if it had gotten by Stevens, you figure it would have been at least a 3-bagger. I will say good approach so far from the Flames. 3 of the first 4 batters of the game, all left-handed hitters, and they're all trying to go the opposite way with those outside fastballs. Big swing and a miss by Logan Matthew. Strike 1. Matthew hitting .272 on the season. Second on the team with 6 homers. Leads the team with 45 RBIs.
6'3", 250 or so he's listed at. Sort of your stereotypical big first baseman, lefty-lefty.
Wagner not going. Fastball outside. 1-1.
So, David, first meeting between Liberty and FGCU. Liberty brand new to the A-Sun. So you get the information. You're a player. You're a coach. Hey, we're joining a new conference. First team that jumps out at you when you look at up and down the new conference has got to be FGCU. You've got a history there. You've got quality. Team won the tournament a few times. You got Chris Sale. And so mentally, you come down here, and you got to know you're facing one of the best teams.
Well, I will say when the schedule came out, Liberty probably thought, FGCU on the road to end the season, probably going to be a big series.
Yeah.
Whether it's for first or not, you figured it would be a big series. I will say the A-Sun has had a lot of success here this decade, Greg. Stetson had a phenomenal season last year. They were a top 16 seed. They got the Hosta Regional, made it through to the Super Regionals before losing to North Carolina. FGCU won a game in the tournament 2 years ago. The 2-1, skied to left field. Stevens going over at the edge of the track. He's under it and makes the catch. Wagner was halfway to second, so he'll go back. 1 away. Here's Ben Highfill.
He looks okay, but Matthew, his spikes got caught after that swing, and it looked like he turned his ankle just a tad bit, but he doesn't seem to be limping.
All 4 left-handed hitters have hit the ball to left field. 3 fly balls to Stevens and the single to left by Wagner. Do you think that Studstill's fastball is causing them to hit it late, or do you think that that's an approach by Liberty so far early?
I think it's a little bit of an approach.
Curveball for a strike to Highfill, who's hitting 220, the DH is, with a homer and 22 RBIs. And I was mentioning the run that the A-Sun is on, Greg. You go back, I think it was 5 years ago. Kennesaw State came within a game of making it to Omaha, won a regional, and took a game in the Super Regional. And that one lined off the glove of Gonzalez at second, and he can't corral it, and it'll be an infield single. Wagner had to hold up to avoid getting doubled off, and then he had to hustle to get down to second. But it's a line drive infield single for Highfill, and the Flames have first and second with one out.
Garcia had a really good opportunity to catch that ball. I don't know if he got caught, Gonzalez, I don't know if he got caught in the air a little bit too early, but it did hit his glove. Would have been a good play.
So first and second, one away for Brandon Rohr, the right fielder, 295 hitter with 27 RBIs. First and second, one out for Liberty, trying to answer the Eagles' run in the bottom of the first, and Studstill's offering his outside ball one. I mean, Studstill's only given up 40 hits on the season. I mean, he's averaging giving up 3 hits a start, Greg. 13 starts, 40 hits.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 2 hits here in the second.
Might be why he's on that watch list.
Fastball fouled back, 1-1. Not a lot of power in the bottom of the order for Liberty. Rohr doesn't have a homer. Galazin on deck has 2, and Guy in the 9-hole has 1. And Betts, the leadoff hitter, doesn't have any. So if you're Studstill here, you got 4 guys in a row in which, in theory, you can challenge them. First and second, one out. Here's the 1-1. 2-1. Now Wagner at second does have 7 steals. Will he try to get to third with less than 2 outs? Profit trying to dog him a little bit to keep him close. The 2-1, Wagner's not going. Fastball outside, 3-1 the count. First pitch of the night that Studstill wanted that he didn't get.
Yeah, we don't have the best angle to see the corners from here, David, but that looked like a pretty good pitch.
Raitt tried to frame it, but moved his glove late. Home plate umpire Michael Rash did not give the Eagles the call. Here's the 3-1 to Rohr. Fastball's high, ball 4, and the Flames have the bases loaded with just 1 out here in the second.
Well, FGCU in the bottom of the first had 2 on with 1 out, and Stewart hit into a double play, so this would be an opportune time for Galazin here to hit into a double play.
Well, the problem for FGCU is Galazin has got good speed with 8 stolen bases on the season. The senior third baseman hitting .263, 2 homers, 36 RBIs. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Bases loaded, 1 out, top of the second, the 0-1. Low 1-1. So 2 hits and a walk for Liberty here in the top of the second against Mason Studstill, who's gone to the full windup with the bases loaded.
Galazin's one of those guys that has started every game. He's played in every game. He's a senior.
And that one up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. 1 run is in, 2 runs will score, and Liberty has taken a 2-1 lead. Past the diving Profit. Even if he gets to it, certainly not going to turn 2. But a seeing eye single for Galazin, the 3rd hit of the inning for Liberty, and the Flames lead it 2-1.
Yeah, great effort by Profit. Even if he gets it, David, like you said, I'm not sure they even get an out. I think it's probably just an infield single Good play by Townsend to keep Rohr at second base as the throw went into third.
So Gallison with the 2 RBI single, 2-1 Flames, and here's center fielder Jalen Guy. The freshman hitting .266 with a homer and 12 RBIs. Fastball, fisted. Profit's got to charge it and hurry in time. Nice play by Profit. Runners move up a base, 2 away.
Stud still had an opportunity to field that ball, and I think he was peeking a little bit to see if he could get the runner at third. But a good job by Profit charging hard, and he's got a great arm, able to get Guy at first.
Well, now a key at-bat in this game because 2 runners are in scoring position for Gray Betts.
Toe's going to come out. Coach Dave Tillett. Have a little chat. Now, David, 50 ranked in the RPI for Libertyville.
Correct.
I'm sorry, Liberty. Thinking of my hometown Chicago roots, suburban Chicago roots.
That's okay.
So let's look at their schedule. They open with a victory at South Carolina. I'm not going to pretend to know how these teams are, but Power 5 conferences, big-name schools, they've got victories over Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Virginia, another one at Virginia Tech. They've beat Richmond. They beat Duke twice.
They won a road series at South Florida, and FGCU fans can certainly attest as to how difficult it is to go to Tampa and take 2 out of 3.
This is a good team.
Yeah, beaten Duke twice. Absolutely. Took a game at South Carolina, won a series at USF. I think they should garner, if they don't win the A-Sun, I think they should garner strong at-large consideration. It is tough to put together in a conference this size a resume much more impressive than what Liberty has put together so far this year. Fastball to Betts is up and away, ball 1. Betts lined out to left field his first time up. Slow curve is low, 2-0. Betts, not a lot of power, yet to homer. He's got 14 RBIs on the season, and a single would go a long way for Liberty here. Likely would score 2. The 2-0. And that one flied to left field. Stevens has a beat on it, makes the catch, and Studstill gets out of it, but not before. 2 runs on 3 hits, a walk, and 2 men left. And it's Liberty with the 2-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second inning here at Swanson Stadium. 2-1 Liberty. Eagles jumped out in the bottom of the first. Solo homer from Alex Brait. Flames come right back, put 3 hits together in the top of the second. Score 2 against Eagles ace Mason Studstill. And so junior righty Andrew McInvale can kind of take a deep breath and go, whew, that was a rough start, but we're okay.
Well, FGCU saw the ball very well in the bottom of the first. See if that could continue. We thought we'd have a pitcher's duel here. So far, not quite.
6, 7, 8 in the Eagles lineup. Eric Gonzalez, Joe Kinker, and Jalen Townsend to face Andrew McInvale, who misses up and in. Ball 1, Gonzalez, who's played short for most of the season, moved over to second now that Christian Profit's back in the lineup at short. Gonzalez hitting .292 on the season with 4 homers and 30 RBIs, and with McInvale missing with a curveball, he's behind in the count 2-0. The 2-0. Check swing right in there, 2-1. We were talking about Liberty, Greg, as we went to break. FGCU, when they made it, now they won the ASUN 2 years ago, but they had to win 2 games on the final day of the ASUN tournament to win the ASUN title. Heading into that day, FGCU had 40 wins, and they had an RPI in the upper 30s. And Dave Tollett thought they were right on the bubble. But when they won the first game, as Gonzalez works a walk, and that'll bring up Joe Kinker as the go-ahead run. When they won the first game that fateful Saturday against Stetson, and they got to 41 wins, Toe thought he was in. Now, he knew if he won the next game, he was assured of being in, but he really thought when they won that first game at 41, they were in. And here's Kinker, .313 hitter, the freshman DH with 6 homers and 36 RBIs. He had 4 homers in the first 3 weeks of the season, it seems. He's kept his average up there, though. But he's only hit 2 homers in the final 3 months of the season, although they've been big homers, game-winning homers. So I mentioned that with Liberty. Their RPI a little higher than where FGCU was 2 years ago. But they've got a bunch of Power 5 wins like the Eagles did 2 years ago. Here's the 1-1. High 2-1. And obviously, if you're a Liberty fan listening right now, you're like, heck with this at-large stuff. We're going to win this thing. And I don't blame you. But here's why I think they are very viable. Let's just say they take 2 out of 3 this weekend. That gets them to 38 wins. And it'd make them the regular season ASUN champs. Snap throw over. Gonzalez gets back. Gonzalez, 5 of 7 on the base pass, stealing so far this year. If they get to the ASUN final, well, it takes at least 3 wins to do that. I'd put them at 41, Greg.
Yeah.
They'd have an RPI in the 40s in all likelihood at that point, and they'd have 41 wins, and they'd have 1 or 2 chances to win the ASUN title, theoretically. If that's the scenario, I got to think Liberty's on the tips of a lot of commentators' tongues and D1Baseball.com and Baseball America. I would think they'd be a very viable at-large candidate, fastball at the knees, and the count goes full to Kinker at 3-2. Do you send Gonzalez here? Nobody out.
Yeah, I do.
Kinker with 49 strikeouts in 50 games. And Gonzalez is going. Well, Gonzalez thought better of it. Good bluff. Took 3 big steps and then raced back to first. Kinker with the strikeout. So McInvale fell behind 3-1 after a leadoff walk, but strikes out Kinker. 1 away. Here's center fielder Jalen Townsend.
You know, you and I, going back to, a little bit about the Liberty schedule, early on a couple months ago, I talked to you about the importance of the midweek games and the non-conference games, and FGCU has certainly not played well in those games.
Oh, good bunt by Townsend. Snap throw. Safe. Christopher Tipton, the first base umpire, thought about it for a long time before calling him safe, and Scott Jackson runs out to say, oh, I don't know, Blue, I thought he was out.
I thought he was safe, David, and I think Thomas might be having that little conversation. The first base coach motion safe. Did that influence his call? But I thought it was a good call.
I thought first base umpire Christopher Tipton literally was replaying it in his mind. He heard the sound. Was it tie goes to the runner there? I think he thought it all through, took a split second, and decided he's safe. So instead of a runner on second with 2 away, it's first and second, 1 out, and here's Christian Profit, whose first pitch swinging and flies it to right center field. Rohr, the right fielder, makes the catch. Gonzalez thought about going to third, but he'll stay put, and so Profit, first pitch swinging, flies out to right. 2 on, 2 out for leadoff hitter Richie Garcia.
And I like that Prophet jumped on that first pitch. It was a good pitch to hit. He struggled at the plate this year, which is why he lost his starting position. But it was a good pitch. Jump on it, see if some good things will happen.
Well, a lot of times you're going to get a fastball first pitch.
And he got a fastball. Got under it just a little bit.
McInville was just a little bit better than Prophet in that instance. So here we are, 2 on, 2 out for Richie Garcia, who takes an off-speed pitch low, ball 1. Garcia popped out behind second, his first time up. Alex Brait, who homered for the Eagles' lone run, waits on deck. Gonzalez on second, Townsend on first. Fastball, pitcher's pitch right on the outside corner, 1-1.
So you could almost make the argument that Liberty has underwhelmed in conference. Not great teams with their RPI. They've played much better out of conference against better teams.
Well, remember, it's first time playing these teams. 1-1, grounded to third. Gallison makes the play, takes it to the bag, and the side is retired. A walk, a hit, and 2 men left. We've played 2 at Swanson. It's 2-1 Liberty.
Let's get dizzy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Top of the third inning here at Swanson Stadium. Liberty, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. The Eagles, 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors. 2-3-4 in the Flames lineup against Mason Studstill, Jonathan Embry, Cam Locklear, and Will Wagner. Embry flied out to left field his first time up. Studstill had to work pretty hard in that second inning, throw a lot of pitches. And the Flames got to him for 2 runs, 3 hits and a walk. The 0-1. Swing and a miss by Embry, 0-2. Embry leads the team with 9 homers. Junior catcher. One of 5 left-hand hitters in the lineup for the Flames against the righty Studstill. 1-2.
And David, not a big guy either for the amount of home runs he's hit.
And also chokes up just a touch on the bat. Just a touch. Off-speed pitch, and that one ripped to right field. Hayes goes back, and the topspin brought that ball down, and on the edge of the track, Hayes makes the catch, 1 away.
Like you said, there was a little topspin. He had got on top of that one just a tad. I don't think the wind would have helped it if he got underneath it. The wind's blowing from right to left, but that was well hit.
Yeah, Studstill hung that one just a touch. Didn't have a sharp break at the end of it. Thigh high, and Embry gave it a ride. He's now 0 for 2. And here's Cam Locklear, who skied out to center field his first time up, and he gets hit. So a 1-out base runner for the Flames. And I'm just going to throw this out there. A lot of times, if you've got speed and you get hit to get on base, you kind of go, you know what? You hit me. I'm just going to steal second. just for the heck of it. We'll see if Cam Locklear does just that. 7 for
7 to
9.
9, yep.
Here's left-hand hitting Will Wagner, who singled and scored his first time up, and that curveball in the dirt, and it bounds. And Locklear rounding second, and I thought for a second he might even try to get to third. But another runner in scoring position for Liberty with one away.
And that almost hit Locklear on the bounce. I think Locklear was sort of expecting to get hit on the foot there.
A lot of times, though, curveballs spin back towards the plate, no matter which side you miss it on. Wagner with a sharp single to left field to lead off the second inning. And he came around to score on the 2 RBI single by Gallazin. All-speed pitch, misses inside. 2-0. Studstill, after a 1-2-3 first inning, has struggled to find his groove since. Wagner hitting .326 on the season, 5 homers, 37 RBIs. 2-0, and Studstill gets the pitch. That's that low outside corner that he didn't get last inning.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That looks like to be the first call we've gotten in that part of the plate.
McInvale got a pitch last inning that was low outside corner. Profit sneaks to second base, and well, Locklear dives back. So they're trying to keep Locklear close. He's tempted to steal third with less than 2 outs. Left-hand hitter in the on-deck circle. The 2-1. Fouled straight back by Wagner. I think that foul ball got a piece of Brate. And that's why the home plate umpire, Michael Rash, giving Alex a chance to kind of shake it off. Even though some clouds are kind of wandering over the stadium, the clouds have disappeared to the west and bright sunshine right now. The 2-2. Off-speed pitch, skied to fairly deep left field. Stevens going back on the edge of the track, makes the catch. So Embry hit it hard to the warning track in right. Wagner hits it hard to the warning track in left. 2 away for Logan Matthew.
Got to pay a little closer attention to those fly balls tonight, as the ball is carrying well.
Well, temperatures in the 80s, so it's warm. Not much breeze right now, but it has been helping out the left field early on.
David, where did you learn so much about weather and weather patterns?
Greg, if you do local news for 20 years, trust me, you are inundated with weather. Swing and a miss by Matthew.
Your segment got shorter and shorter, and the
Every
weather got longer and longer.
Year, yep. When I started in the business, sports guys were getting about 4.5 minutes at 6 o'clock. Same amount at 11. About 15 years later, I was getting about 2.5 at 6 and 3 at 11. And the weather guy was coming on at the top of the news, the middle of the news, and the end of the news. The old one's outside, 1-1. Not that there's any jealousy or resentment from the local sports guys towards the weather guys, who apparently are also allowed to miss a forecast and be wrong. But if the sports guy gets a prediction on a game incorrect, they hold it against him. That's all. No big deal or anything.
Listen, it's our paychecks. What do you think we do with the gambling tips that you give us?
The 1-1 to Matthew. Outside, 2-1.
That second pitch by Studstill, that curveball outside, almost looked like they were pitching out just a bit. It wouldn't make any sense to do that, though.
No, I think he's just struggling with his command right now. Locklear with the lead off second, the 2-1 to Matthew. skied to right field. Hayes looks over at Townsend in right center field, and it's the center fielder who eventually makes the play, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, one left. Bottom of 3 we go. Liberty with the 2-1 lead. Bottom of the 3rd inning, and for those of you in the greater Lynchburg, Virginia area, hopefully this is a treat for you because it's our beef jerky half inning. Greg, take it away.
David, you and I are undefeated here at Swanson Stadium this year.
I don't think we have anything
It could
to do
be
with
us.
it. I doubt it.
Could be FGCU's team.
Well, they have been good at home.
Could be the beef jerky from Ruthven, Minnesota. The Buffalo Ridge locker up there makes the best beef jerky. It's the perfect snack to get you through a ball game. Don't look for it in stores because you could only get it in southwest Minnesota. Luckily, I have some relatives that send it down.
How much you got left in the freezer or whatever?
I got a few packets. I'm just hoping that the season continues. I might have to just start breaking it open during road games. Give a little good luck.
Well, for the Liberty fans watching and listening, what is the beef jerky again and where is it?
That would be Buffalo Ridge Locker out of Ruthven, Minnesota. Population 300.
Can't go wrong right there. Left-hand hitting catcher Alex Brait, who hit a solo homer his first time up, leads things off here in the 3rd for the Eagles, 2-3-4 in the FGCU batting order against Andrew McInvale, who, well, was in trouble to start this game. Gave up a homer. Next 2 guys were aboard, but he got a 3-6-3 double play. Had 2 base runners last inning and with 1 out and got out of it. So McInvale's had to work hard as well, but he does have a 2-1 lead. And right now the count's 1-1 to Alex Brait. Big swing and a miss at a shoulder-high fastball. Haven't seen Brait chase a pitch like that all season, quite frankly.
No, I was just about to say that. He's been pretty disciplined all year long that we've seen him.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Had a good inside fastball that had some late movement, even more inside. Second strikeout for McInvale. 1 away. And here's right fielder Jay Hayes. Hayes singled to left field his first time up. Hitting .322, 8 homers, 44 RBIs. Hayes has played most of the year at third base, but with the injury of Mark Coffers in center field, about half the starting lineup has moved around. Gonzalez from short went to second. Garcia from second went to third. Hayes from third went to right. Eusebio from right went to the bench. Townsend from the bench went to center field. Profit from the bench went to shortstop. All because of 1 injury.
I believe they call that the domino effect, David.
1-1 fastball. Looked pretty good, but called the ball 2-1. Embry framed it a little longer. McInvale took a couple extra steps off the mound as if to say, you sure about that one, Blue?
That looked like a better pitch than the first strike call.
The 2-1. And Hayes ahead of the count 3-1. And as I mentioned, he's got 8 homers on the season. This is a guy that you challenge at your own risk, leading FGCU in dingers and in RBIs. And he loves fastballs. But he takes that one high and works out a 1-out walk.
Third walk of the game. for McInvale.
who came in 80 innings, having walked 28, so he averages a little over 3 walks per 9 innings. And as you mentioned, already has 3 here and 2 1/3. So 1 away for the left fielder Keith Stevens, who walked his first time up. He's first pitch swinging and fouls it straight back. Hayes, as Greg Anderson mentioned, his first time up, reigning ASUN Player of the Week. Hitting .329 with 2 homers and 26 RBIs. He's a senior, playing his last 3 home games. 0-1 check swing, inside, 1-1. Wind now blowing out to left, gusting. Hayes with the lead off first, yet to attempt a stolen base this year. Off-speed pitch, it's low, check swing, and first base umpire Christopher Tipton said he went around. 1-2.
Good call.
So he called the bang-bang play at first in FGCU's favor. Check swing there that was close, went to Liberty. So I think everybody's now okay with Mr. Lipton there. 1-2. Diving play off Matthews' glove at first. Underhanded flip, not in time. It's an infield single for Stevens on a very hard hit ball. Heck of a defensive play by Matthew. Because if that gets past him, Hayes is on third.
Yeah, that was hard to see from our angle. I couldn't tell if Matthew actually came up with it, but it rolled far enough away where Wagner had to come try to field that. No chance to get Stevens. So once again, FGCU, multiple base runners on in an inning.
Well, and just like his first time up, Cole Gilmore steps in there with runners on first and second and 1 out. He hit into a 3-6-3 double play his first time up, and he takes a tailing fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Gilmore, .283 hitter, 4 homers, 38 RBIs, 2-1 Liberty, bottom of the third. Battle for first place and the top seed in next week's ASUN tournament at stake in this 3-game series. Whoever wins the series is the 1 seed. 0-1 up and in, 1-1. Gotta love meaningful baseball after a long season, don't you? When every pitch, every at-bat counts.
And it really is an interesting thing to think about with the ASUN tourney next week.
1-1 fastball, catches the inside corner. Gilmore shakes his head, thinking that looked an awful lot like the pitch before, but that one called the strike, and Cole is behind in the count 1-2.
That tourney is hosted by Stetson. Stetson was the preseason favorite to win the conference. Right now they're sitting at the 6th spot, which means there's a very good chance the winner of the regular season has to open against Stetson at home.
1-2, grounded. Matthew at first, over to second, gets the force, but that'll be all. Throw was low. Locklear could not even think about trying to turn another 3-6-3 double play, so Gilmore reaches on the fielder's choice. Hayes goes to third. Runners on the corners with 2 away. And here's second baseman Eric Gonzalez.
Gilmore hit that one pretty well, better than the first one he hit when he hit into a 3-6-3. Nice play by Matthew, and 2 steps out of the box, Stewart's just thinking, you got to be kidding me, not again.
Gonzalez walked his first time up. Low, ball 1. Second baseman hitting .292 on the season. Spent the first 3 weeks of the season on the bench backing up Profit at short. When Profit got off to such a rough start at the plate, Gonzalez was given a chance, and he's been a .300 hitter or thereabouts for most of the season. And that one hit deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone, but it is foul. Second baseman hitting .292, and think about how rewarding this year has to be, Greg, for Eric Gonzalez. Here's a senior who lost his spot and playing opportunity last year to the ASUN Freshman of the Year in Profit. And he keeps his head in the game, and a month into the season gets his opportunity and has had a big year.
solid timely hits, too, throughout the year for Gonzalez. And now, we talked about this about 6 weeks ago, how you're going to need everybody to contribute. And so the opposite end of that spectrum is now Profit. Profit is thrust into the starting lineup. Defensively, you don't even worry about him. But can he get that bat going?
The 1-2, outside 2-2. Hayes at third, Gilmore at first. Gilmore being held on. He only has one stolen base on the season. Huge hole on the right side for Gonzalez. 2-2, just off the corner. McInvale was walking towards the dugout. It looked a little outside from our angle, although quite frankly, those of you watching have a better angle than we do. But the count is now full at 3-2 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss at a slider on the outer part of the plate. Third strikeout for McInvale, and the side is retired. And once again, the Eagles with a hit and a walk, but they leave 2 more. And we played 3 at Swanson. It's 2-1 Liberty. Top of the 4th inning, 2-1 Liberty. 6, 7, 8 in the batting order for the Flames. The DH, Ben Highfill, who singled and scored what is the go-ahead run in this game right now. His first time up. First pitch swinging.
Studstill's pitch count now at 51. He had a pretty good top of the third. His pitch count, 14 pitches in the top of the third after a 20-pitch second inning.
Well, and even in a 3-up, 3-down first, he went to full count on the first 2 batters of the game. Off-speed pitch, line to left for a leadoff single by Highfill. He's 2 for 2. So Highfill hitting 220 on the season. But we had the Liberty folks tell us that don't look at the batting average on the season. Lately, he's hitting nearly 400. Came in hitting 370 in his last 10 games. And Highfill, a leadoff base runner, here in the 4th inning. Highfill yet to attempt to steal. Leading off first, and Brandon Rohrer takes an off-speed pitch just outside ball 1.
Rohrer walked his first time up, got stranded at third.
The 1-0. Full swing, fouled back. 1-1. I say full swing because, well, it's always the possibility of playing small ball here.
Yeah, Garcia is playing on the grass at third.
Well, Gala's in the on-deck circles. The gentleman who came up with the biggest hit of the game thus far with a 2 RBI single to give Liberty the lead. Well, there's a lot at stake in this series. Not only the number one seed in the A-Sun tournament next week, and that one skied to left field. Stevens has got to come in as it's a little off the end of the bat. And Rohrer flies out to left. Craig, that is the 5th putout already for Stevens in
He's
left
been
field.
busy, yeah.
And almost
All
all of
lefties.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be an approach.
I think Will Wagner is he a lefty?
He is.
Yeah.
Betts is lined and flied out to left, left-handed hitter. Embry, a left-hand hitter, is flown out to left. Wagner, a left-hand hitter, is flown out to left. Matthew, a left-hand hitter, is flown out to left. And now Rohrer. And that's 6 putouts by the left fielder. I mean, 6 of the 10 outs recorded in this game by Stud Still are left-handed hitters flying out to the opposite field.
Yeah, as an outfielder a long time ago, not at this level, you could go a couple games without a putout.
I mean, Steven's got to be saying to himself, hey, put me back in the infield. I saw less action. 1 out, 1 on for Tyler Gallison. 0-1 fastball's high, 1-1. Gallison with a hard hit single right by Stud Still and past a diving Prophet into center field, scoring Wagner and Highfill in the 2nd inning to give Liberty the 2-1 lead that they still hold. 1-1, fouled straight back.
David, I'm feeling something right here. It's called a double play. Usually you got guys that'll call shots, home runs.
Well, there's only been 1 ground out recorded by Stud Still so far in this game. The 1-2, fouled out of play. I mean, we've talked about it. 6 fly out to left, 2 to center, 1 to right, and a ground ball to short. So only 1 ground ball out of the 10 recorded by Stud Still. So that's quite a feeling you have right now.
It is.
The 1-2 to Gallison is high.
In fact, I'm calling a ground ball up the middle that Prophet's going to get on his own. He's going to touch the bag at second, throw on to first for the double play. And we're going to go bat.
Well, if that happens, you're going to leave and you're going to go buy lottery tickets for all of us.
All right.
The 2-2. Slow curve high, and the count goes full at 3-2. I would send Highfill here. I'd put the, even though he has not attempted nor stolen a base this year, I don't know. I'd put a little pressure on the Eagles here. Stud Still's yet to strike anybody out, so I'm counting on the ball being put in play. I think I'd send him. Highfield not going. Slow curve, and it's lined to center field. That's a base hit, fielded on a hop by Townsend. Highfield will hold at second. 2 on, 1 out for the Flames, and here's Jalen Guy coming to the plate. Gallison's 2 for 2. Both hits up the middle.
It's about the only thing I had right there, something up the middle.
That was another
really
hanger,
good at
though.
bat, yeah.
Another hanger. Stud Still doesn't have a lot of sharpness at the end of his breaking pitches right now. They're all just kind of rolling in there. He got away with it last inning with a couple of long fly ball outs.
Had Gallison down 1-2 there, but could not get those 4th and 5th pitches down in the zone, left him up.
Highfield at second, Gallison at first. Center fielder Jalen Guy, who grounded out the short his first time up. 5 hits already for the Flames. Remember, this is a starter for FGCU who came in having given up 40 hits in 13 starts. He averages giving up 3 hits a game. Fouled off at the plate, 0-1. And Stud Still knows that also. I mean, Stud Still's thinking to himself, man, what's going on tonight? I'm usually mowing these guys down.
Well, I think what's going on tonight is he's facing a really good team.
Absolutely. 5 hits, all singles for the Flames. 0-1, hanging curveball, ripped to left field for a base hit. Highfill rounds third. He'll score easily. And the Flames lead it 3-1. Another hanger from Studstill.
And that one hit off the end of the bat. It took Stevens a while to get to that ball, so there's no chance of getting Highfill at home on that. Gallazin is able to get on to second base, and that's it.
So 6 hits for Liberty in 3 1/3 innings against FGCU ace Mason Studstill. And top of the order, here's Gray Betts, who's flied out to left twice, and he's first pitch swinging, and he fouls it back. Well, Betts had a chance to blow this game open in the second inning when he came up with 2 on and 2 out and flied out to left. Well, he's got another opportunity here. 3-1 Liberty lead, 1 away with 2 on. So 1 is up and away, 1-1. Highfill led off the inning with a sharp single. Gallazin on a hanger, singled to center. Guy on a hanger, singled to left. The 1-1, fastball, skied, third base side. Profit the shortstop, giving way to the left fielder Stevens. Third time today that Betts has flied out to Stevens. 7th put out for the left fielder Stevens, all by left-hand hitters. 2 on, 2 out now for the catcher, Jonathan Embry.
Did a great job of calling Profit off. Profit probably could have caught that ball, but he did a great job of calling him off. Profit got out of the way just in time for Stevens to rein in that second out.
Well, Embry, the most dangerous hitter in the lineup for the Flames. 9 homers, leads the team, 35 RBIs. He's flied out to left and to right. The fly ball to right field was a line drive with topspin that stayed in the park. It was a little bit of a hanger on the inside part of the plate. There's a recurring theme in these descriptions, you know, hanger. Which are okay for airplanes and clothes, but not for pitchers. The 1-0. Fastball outside, 2-0. This is not the guy you want to give into.
Studstill now at 69 pitches.
And action in the FGCU bullpen. Here in the 4th inning. 3-1 Flames.
Both pitchers are number ones. Pitch counts are up there.
2-0. Fastball outside corner, 2-1.
But this is big, David. We got to keep this a 2-run ball game.
Well, it's going to be tough here because Studstill can't get anything else over but his fastball, and Embry's a good hitter, and he can square up anybody's fastball. So does Studstill go to something else? The 2-1. He's gotten back in it with back-to-back fastballs, and the count even at 2-2. And see, this is where if you're Brait the catcher and Studstill the pitcher, can you trust a secondary pitch right now, Greg? You're getting beat on your secondary pitch.
If you're going to throw that curveball, you got to throw it down and in, maybe even spike it. See if Embry will bite on it.
The 2-2. Count goes full at 3-2. And with 2 outs, Gallazin and Guy will be off and running. And they've got good speed combined. They've combined for 19 stolen bases. So a big spot in this ball game. Mason Studstill laboring. Jonathan Embry at the plate. The 3-2. Runners going. Ball 4, bases will be loaded for shortstop Cam Locklear.
Well, David, you called it there. He just is not confident throwing anything but his fastball.
Well, Dave Tillet's going to stay with him. He's your ace. Although here comes Toe. We'll see if he stays with him. You know he wants to. I was starting to say, 1, he's their ace. 2, it's the first of a 3-game set. You really don't want to be going to your bullpen in the 4th inning of the series. This is where you combination pep talk and scouting report on Cam Locklear, who's a .288 hitter. He flied out to center field and was hit by a pitch so far today.
Well, you hit it on the head. Part pep talk, part scouting report. The umpire is finally going to take a little walk out there and break it up.
Michael Rash, the home plate umpire, gave Toe a little more leash, a little bit longer meeting. And so here it is. Key spot in this game for Mason Studstill and FGCU. Trailing 3-1, top of the 4th inning. Bases loaded, 2 away. Got to get the 3-hole hitter out to stay close. And first pitch swinging, Locklear all over it and fouls it straight back. Greg, I got to admit, I don't know if he's going to see anything else but what he just saw. The 0-1 from the full windup. Fastball high, 1-1.
That's a close one, David. That could have gone either way. So Tyler Shuck is in the bullpen right now. Normally a starter.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 1-1 to Cam Locklear. Studstill took too long. Locklear called time.
And I guess I should say he's not normally a starter. He started 4 games.
1-1, check swing. Inside corner strike, 1-2.
And that's the placement where he needs to be. He's been up and away with his fastball.
He's been up.
Yeah.
He has not been able to get that sinking fastball down since the 1st inning. He's ahead of the count, 1-2. Slider just off the corner. Probably his best non-fastball pitch of the night, but it was outside, 2-2.
Pretty good discipline by Locklear not to swing at that. That's a close 1-2 pitch.
Does he have the guts to throw it again? Because now if you're Locklear, you're thinking fastball. 2-2, and there's the fastball, and it's skied, third base side. Garcia, Profit. The shortstop can't get it. Stevens didn't call him off, and the ball falls. Foul ground, but the at-bat continues.
I think that's a Stevens ball right there.
No question, because that was a long run for Profit. Talking about 100 feet.
Yeah. And with all of the putouts that Stevens has tonight, surprised that he didn't call him off.
7 putouts for Stevens in left field, but that one falls to the ground. We'll see if it's costly.
Tough sky, though, right now. You've got dusk setting in. The lights are on. Maybe Stevens didn't get a good read on it.
The 2-2. Fastball. This one foul ground right field side. Cole Gilmore, does he have room? No, he does not. He goes crashing into the fencing, but it's just out of play.
And I can't tell if that ball actually went out of the stadium.
It did.
Yes, now it did. Yep. They threw it right back in.
Because I saw Gilmore go crashing into the fencing. Studstill wants new signs from Brait. The 2-2. Fastball up and in. And there is nowhere to put Cam Locklear. Bases loaded, 2 away, and the count has gone full.
Last couple sliders he has thrown, they have been right where he needs them to be.
Runners are going. The 3-2 fouled off. Embry at first started running before Studstill even had started his motion. He was halfway to second as the ball was being delivered. And he's running again. The 3-2 fastball skied. Left center field. Center fielder Townsend calling for it, makes the catch. So the Flames score a run on 3 hits, and they leave 3. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Liberty 3 and FGCU 1. First place on the line here in the Ace Sun at Swanson Stadium. Bottom of the 4th inning, Swanson Stadium. Eagles struck first. Alex Brait solo homer bottom of the 1st inning. And even though FGCU has had runners on base in every single inning, Andrew McInvale has pitched out of trouble. After that Alex Brait homer in all 3 innings, the Flames, meanwhile, 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, lead at 3-1. Bottom of the order for FGCU here in the 4th, 7, 8, 9, Joe Kinker, Jalen Townsend, Christian Profit. Kinker, the freshman DH, takes a fastball at the knees for a strike.
McInvale with 3 walks. He's at 58 pitches. FGCU has had at least 2 base runners on in every inning.
Strike. Scoreboard says 1-1. I thought the first pitch was called a strike.
It was 0-2.
So the count is 0-2 on the DH Joe Kinker, who struck out his first time up. Oh, 2 comes up and in and fouled back. McInvale gave up the solo homer to Brait in the 1st inning. Then Hayes singled and Stevens walked. But he got Gilmore to ground into a double play. In the dirt, 2-2. Or excuse me, 1-2. In the 2nd inning, Gonzalez walked to lead off. With 1 out, Townsend singled. So 1st and 2nd, 1 out. He pitched out of it. The 1-2 to Kinker. Grounded, back to McInvale. He takes his time. Underhand flip, 1 away.
That ball was cued and had some spin on it. It was probably a good decision for McInvale to stay back and take that last hop.
So a homer, 2 more base runners in the 1st inning, gets the double play. 1st and 2nd, 1 out in the 2nd, pitches out of it. 1st and 2nd, 1 out in the 3rd, pitches out of it. Mackinvale could use a 1-2-3 inning.
Townsend with a bunt single, his first at-bat. Galazin is playing in on the grass at third.
Fouled out of play, 1-1. Bottom part of the order has not produced much offense for FGCU in the form of Townsend and Profit. Townsend hitting .222 with 7 RBIs. Profit hitting a .178 with 8 RBIs. Low 1-1, 2-1. Townsend, if he gets on, though, is a threat to run with 10 stolen bases, tied for the team lead. Tied with the catcher, Alex Brait. Fouled, 2-2. Talk about crashing every stereotype right there.
Mm-hmm.
Catcher with speed. How about that? One of my childhood baseball heroes was a catcher with speed, John Stearns.
I was just going to ask, do we have an example out there? And no, I've never heard of John Stearns.
I thought, really?
No.
Stearns was after Jerry Grody for the Mets. Late 70s into the early 80s. Those were some bad Mets teams. John Stearns was the all-star representative. It was either he or Lee Mazzilli who would be the Mets representative in the all-star game. The 3-2 is outside, and Townsend works a one-out walk.
So once again, base runners, Mackinvale has not been sharp tonight. He's a much better pitcher than this. You could just tell by the numbers. 4th walk of the evening, and the last thing you want to do is walk the 8-hitter, who obviously has some speed with his numbers of 10 stolen bases.
And think about it. He's recorded 10 outs, and he's given up 8 base runners. Profit up for the second time. He was first pitch swinging his first at-bat with 2 on and 1 out, and he flied out to right.
So Profit comes in hitting 178. The reigning ASUN Freshman Player of the Year. Hit .280, I believe, last year. Just not being able to find his stride at the plate. If he could somehow get his numbers back to normal in these last 2 weeks of the season, this would be a huge bonus for FGCU.
You bunt him over to second here, play small ball? Even
Yeah,
though
I
you're down
probably
2?
do, yeah.
The 1-0 in the dirt, or close to it, 2-0. Well, so far, Profit not showing any indication.
But Profit's got
bunting.
good speed, and you don't have to fully square for the sacrifice. You could sort of push one up the right-hand side possibly, get the job done that way, and maybe even get a base hit out of it.
2-0 now to Profit. Townsend, not a big lead, and yet the play was close at first.
The other side of that is, do you let Townsend straight steal and get it done that way?
Well, I think I wait one more pitch and maybe put the runner in motion at 2-1. The 2-0, fastball, just low. Embry framed it. Mackinvale wanted it, but the count now 3-0 to Profit.
That looked like a good pitch, David.
I agree. I thought it was a strike. It looked high enough to be a strike, and so then it was a question of was it over the plate, and it looked it. The 3-0 to Profit. He takes it 3-1.
And I run here. Mackinvale does not have the fastest delivery to the plate.
Do you hit and run here?
I do. Could be a big confidence boost for Profit to get him going in the right direction.
Huge hole on the left side of the infield for the right-hand hitting Profit. Runner's going, and he hits one to deep right center field, but Guy's got a beat on it in front of the track. He makes the catch. Townsend's got to head back to first, and he does. So Profit gave it a ride, but to the biggest part of the ballpark. 2 away now. Leadoff hitter Richie Garcia.
Number 15, Richie Garcia.
Garcia popped out to the second baseman and hit a ground ball to the third baseman that Galazin fielded and took it himself to third on a force play. So Garcia 0 for 2, but he does represent the tying run here in the bottom of the fourth, Liberty leading 3-1. Townsend not going. First pitch swinging, hit to deep left field. Betts at the wall, looking up, and it's gone. Richie Garcia's 5th home run of the season has tied this game at 3.
Garcia jumped on that first pitch.
Belt high fastball.
We don't see any wind with the flags or the palm trees, but he hit that so high that he might have gotten some wind that we just don't know about right now.
The ball is flying and carrying very well to straightaway left field. That one looked like it had the chance off the bat. Alex Brate's homer in the first inning, we both thought would maybe make it to the track, and it carried over the wall, but he had some wind behind him. No wind to help Garcia there. So 2 homers for FGCU have accounted for their 3 runs, and it's 3-all, bottom of the 4th, and here's Brate, whose solo homer in the first gave the Eagles a 1-0 lead, and then he struck out leading off the 3rd.
And I'm thinking, let Townsend steal. First pitch, if he gets thrown out, you still got your lead-up hitter to lead off the next inning. But, man, did Garcia just jump on that first pitch.
And a good off-speed pitch has Brate flailing, count even 1-1. So Liberty had a chance to blow it open in the top of the 4th with the bases loaded and 2 away. And here's FGCU with a little 2-out bingo, as they say. Richie Garcia, the homer to tie it. Boy, you'd think this is a big game or something. The 2-1, ripped foul as McInvale comes back with the off-speed pitch. Oh, you called it, Greg, though. Both aces do not have their A game against lineups that can take advantage of them. 2-2, and Brate swings and misses at another eye-high fastball. Second strikeout for Brate in the game, and that is the 4th strikeout for McInvale through 4. But Richie Garcia's 2-run homer has tied things at 3 as we head to the 5th with first place on the line in the A-Sun between Liberty and FGCU.
Top of the 5th coming up. Studstill is still in there. Let's update you around the A-Sun. Stetson has a 2-0 lead, bottom of the 6th over North Florida. Lipscomb over North Alabama 4-2 in the top of the 4th. And Kennesaw State trailing Jacksonville, top of the 6th, 6-5. What's the biggest one there, David?
Well, depends on Jacksonville, North Florida, and Lipscomb all have 9 losses. They're all but assured of getting into the A-Sun tournament unless one of them gets swept. Stetson has a half-game lead on Kennesaw for the 6th seed. So what's Stetson doing again?
Leading 2-0.
And what's Kennesaw doing?
Trailing 6-5.
Well, there you go. So Kennesaw has to somehow make up ground on Stetson this weekend to get in the A-Sun tournament. Stetson hosting the conference tourney next week. You certainly don't want to be hosting it and not in it. FGCU had that happen to them just last year.
And again, it's an odd thing to talk about, but if Stetson gets in as the 6, are you better off being the 2 seed?
Could certainly make the argument. 3-3, top of the 5th. Ground ball from Will Wagner, the shortstop Prophet, and he throws him out, 1 away. Wagner singled and scored his first time up, flied out to left field in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 3. Studstill With the bases loaded and 2 outs, trailing 3-1, got Cam Locklear to fly out to center field to end the 4th inning. At the time, to keep the Eagles in it, Richie Garcia's 2-run homer tied it in the bottom of the 4th. Here's first baseman Logan Matthew. He flied out to left field in the 2nd inning, flied out to center field to end the 3rd inning. Matthew with 6 homers and leads the team with 45 RBIs. The 1-0, and that one hit deep to right field. Hayes and Townsend looking up near the scoreboard, and it's gone. Matthews' 7th home run of the season, make it a team-leading 46 RBIs. First extra base hit for Liberty tonight, and it gives them the 4-3 lead.
Matthew jumped on that 1-0 pitch. I was just about to say how Garcia's homer tie the game, gives new life to Studstill. And
Can't
Liberty
keep
just
it down, though. It was belt high. Studstill, since the 1st inning, struggling to keep his pitches below the thighs. Logan Matthew with a bomb to right center field. Townsend went as far as he could, jumped, got his glove over the wall, and it was gone. 7th hit for the Flames off Studstill here in the 5th inning. 6 singles and the bomb by Logan Matthew.
so that one in the dirt, and that's okay. You want to see that. That's one of the first since the 1st inning that he has spun up there. Much better than keeping that up in the eyes.
DH Ben Highfill with 2 singles, and he scored 2 runs. Count remains 1-2. Highfill scored what was the go-ahead run back in the 2nd inning on a 2 RBI single by Gallazin to give Liberty a 2-1 lead. And a hanging curveball that Highfill tried to go the other way on, fouled it off. Highfill led off the 4th inning with a single and eventually scored on a Jalen Guy RBI single to give Liberty a 3-1 lead last inning.
Mason knew he got away with one that last pitch, sort of hitting himself on the hip.
The 1-2. Slider grounded the Prophet at short, takes a hop, strong throw over to first. 2 away.
He came back with it, kept it down that time. Not much that Highfeld can do with that one.
Well, through the first 4 innings, Studstill only got 1 ground ball out. He does have 2 ground ball outs here in the 5th. In between those 2 outs, he gave up a long home run. Here's Brandon Rohr, the right fielder, who walked in the 2nd inning, and he's first pitch swinging, and he pops one up, and the left fielder Stevens comes in and makes the catch, and the side is retired. 1 run on the solo homer by Logan Matthew gives Liberty a 4-3 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th inning here at Swanson Stadium. It's been a good one, Greg Anderson, but not the good one we expected. Thought a couple of ace righties in Andrew McInvale and Mason Studstill that it'd be a one-run game at the bottom of the 5th, but maybe it'd be 1-0, 2-1.
And it's not the cleanest one-run game. 4-3, not a horribly, awful pitching matchup. But they've both been sloppy. They can't find their spots. McInvale with 4 walks.
Yet to have a 1-2-3 inning, and he'll try to do so against the heart of the FGCU order here in the 5th. Jay Hayes, first pitch swinging, skies one into shallow right center field. Guy, the center fielder, makes the catch, one away. Hayes, who had singled and walked, so McInvale, thrilled to send him back to the dugout. Here's the left fielder, Keith Stevens. He's reached base twice with a walk and a single.
We probably have to call Elias on this one, and chances are they're not keeping Ace on stats, but he's probably close to a school record putouts for an outfielder in a game.
Well, he made the last out of the 5th. I'll try to add it up here. I mean, heck, Betts is the leadoff hitter for Liberty. He's flied out to Stevens all 3 plate appearances. The 1-0, just low, 2-0. Eight putouts for Stevens in left field already in this game for FGCU. That's a lot. Fouled off at the plate. Spin nearly kept it fair. 2-1 count to Keith Stevens. Leads the team, batting .329. We mentioned he's officially 1 for 1 with a walk tonight. 2 homers, 26 RBIs. 4-3 Liberty. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. And another pitch near the knees, called the ball. I mean, I will say Michael Rash is being consistent behind the plate to Andrew McInvale. I just don't think Andrew is real happy with his consistency.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The 2-0 pitch that Stevens swung at was not a pitch he could drive. And I was just going to say, it's the same situation here. If this is not something he could drive, lay off it.
Well, that's the 5th walk for McInvale. So he's given up 5 hits, and he's walked 5 batters. And we're just 1 out in the 5th. When you think about it, Greg, 80 innings, he had given up 94 base runners. So he's given up about 1.2 base runners an inning. So far, 10 base runners and 4 1/3. That's how much McInvale's struggling. Cole Gilmore, the first baseman, takes the first pitch strike. He's grounded out to first twice. First time, it was turned into a 3-6-3 double play. Second time, it was just a fielder's choice.
Hit the ball pretty well his last at-bat. See if he could elevate one, get it off the ground.
And that one grounded to short and could easily be 2. Locklear touches second, throws over to first. Cole Gilmore keeps hitting ground balls, and the Flames keep gobbling them up. That one a 6-6-3 double play. And side retired. No runs, a walk, none left. Through 5, Liberty leads it 4-3.
You ready?
Top of the 6th inning here at Swanson Stadium, and there's a new pitcher for FGCU. It's Tyler Shuck, the righty, 6-1 with a 3.94 earned run average. This is 16th appearance, 12th in relief.
We've seen Tyler in the starting role. We've seen him in relief. One of their better pitchers, a local kid. Grew up in Cape Coral.
So the line is done for Mason Studstill. 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 7 hits. And I'm trying to quickly add up the walks here, Greg, and, well, I've got 5. No.
I think you're on the wrong side there, yeah. I think you only had 1 walk.
2 walks and a hit batter for Studstill. Through 5 innings. Right now he would stand to take the loss if the Eagles cannot come back and tie it and or win it. So Shuck to face 8-9 in the top of the order for Liberty. Tyler Gallison, Jalen Guy, and Gray Betts. And Gallison's got to be bummed to no longer see Studstill because he had singled off him twice. First time he singled, it drove in 2 to give Liberty a 2-1 lead back in the second.
Both hits right up the middle. The 2 RBI base hit was a ground ball. Last at bat, a nice solid line drive out into center.
Gallows in first pitch taking, which you often do when you see a new pitcher, and he took a ball. A beautiful sky right now beyond the outfield wall, as you've got a blue sky with kind of gray clouds and then kind of a pink lining underneath it. Could see somebody making a beautiful portrait here. And another one hit to center field. This one pretty deep. Townsend on the track makes the catch as Gallison gave it a ride. How ironic, Greg. Hardest hit ball of the night for Gallison, and it's the first time he's made an out. 1 away for Jalen Guy, who's 1 for 2. His RBI single in the 4th inning gave Liberty a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, between Gallison and Heifel, they might not have the best averages, but they are hitting the ball well for Libertyville. Liberty.
Did he get a swing? He did not. First base umpire Christopher Tipton said that Jalen Guy did not offer at it, 1-0. Fouled out of play, 1-1. FGCU, Alex Brate solo homer, bottom of the first, led it 1-0. Tyler Gallison, 2 RBI single in the second. Liberty led 2-1. Jalen Guy, RBI single in the 4th, 3-1 Flames. Richie Garcia, 2-run homer in the bottom of the 4th, tied things up at 3. And then Logan Matthew with a 1-out homer in the top of the 5th against Mason Studstill. And that's where we stand. Liberty 4, FGCU 3, top of the 6th inning here at Swanson. The 2-1 is low, 3-1 to Guy. And you don't want to get Guy on base. He's stolen 11.
No, and just like how Townsend walked and then later scored on Garcia's homer, the last thing we want to do here is walk the 9-hole hitter for Liberty.
The 3-1 grounded, foul. FGCU has not lost an ASUN game at home this year. They have not lost a series at home all year to anyone. Liberty with a win would move into first place. 3-2. Guy stayed alive.
Now, David, last time you and I saw FGCU, they were not playing great baseball. They struggled in a home series against North Alabama. North Alabama, not the strongest team by any means. They swept that series, but the games weren't that great.
The 3-2 Big swing by Guy. He pops it up. Third baseman Garcia watches it go out of play.
And so you and I weren't too surprised when they went on the road and lost 4 straight. But now, obviously, this is a whole different atmosphere when they get at home in conference, unbeaten, a different kind of confidence playing at home.
Well, FGCU is 25-7 at home this year, 9-0 in the A-Sun. Guy fouls one off again, making Shuck work. One out, top of the 6th. 4-3 Flames. Guy fouls another one off. And don't know if you can hear the Liberty dugout, but they are very appreciative of this at-bat from ninth place hitter Jalen Guy.
And Shuck hasn't thrown a breaking ball for a strike yet. So Guy is just sitting on this fastball.
Well, I wouldn't throw anything but my best pitch to the 9-hole hitter either, but he throws a curveball there, and it's grounded to Garcia third. He sidearms one over to first. And you called it, Greg Anderson. If he would go to something else, he'd probably get him out. And he did, 2 away.
Guy probably swung at ball 4, but you can't let that one go. Breaking ball that started towards the middle,
Late
blowing
movement
away.
on it, too.
A lot of late movement.
When he started to swing, it was a strike. Here's the leadoff hitter, Gray Betts, who's 0 for 3. He's flied out to Stevens and left, all 3 at bats.
Calling a 4th?
No. Playing the percentages.
I'll do it.
You're betting on 4?
Why not?
1-1 now the count. FGCU pitchers. Mason Studstill got 3 up, 3 down to start this game. Liberty's had base runners in the next 4 innings, and, well, they got one here in the 6th that comes with 2 outs as Betts grounds one to right. 8th hit of the night for the Flames, 7 singles, and Logan Matthews homer. Betts with only 2 stolen bases on the season. And I would not be running here. I want Jonathan Embry, who leads the team with 9 homers, to get his licks in. Plus, being held on at first, little bit of a hole to the right side of the infield. First pitch is outside, ball 1.
Yeah, you want to let the heart of the order dictate what's going to happen here. Braid has thrown out, I believe, 10 would-be base stealers this season. I wouldn't be stealing either.
Embry 0 for 2 with a walk. Ahead of the count 1-0 against Tyler Shuck. Fastball outside corner 1-1. The 1-1, all-speed pitch just misses, 2-1. I do find it remarkable, Greg. We've talked often about Alex Brait not only playing in every game for the Eagles this year, but starting all 51. Well, Embry has played in all 53 Flames games, and he has started 52 of them for a catcher. 2-1 fouled off. And I understand it's not as hot in Lynchburg, Virginia, but they're playing their games in the Southeast. And for a catcher to be playing in every game and pretty much every darn inning of every game, too. I mean, Toe is kind of giving Braid an inning or two in left field in some cases, but I would say he's caught probably all but 10 innings this year for FGCU. And well, this guy, Jonathan Embry, has pretty much done the same for Liberty. And the count's now full at 3-2, so expect Betts to be off with the pitch. And in fact, Gilmore, the first baseman, will play off him, so Betts will get a bigger lead and a good start on this 3-2 offering to Jonathan Embry. Remember, who leads the team with 9 homers. Shuck stepped off, Embry stepped out. Now they're both ready. Backdoor curveball misses. And we've had a 2-out single and a 2-out walk to bring Cam Locklear to the plate. He was flied out to center field twice and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning.
Well, David, you've said it that Michael Rash has been pretty consistent not calling that strike tonight.
And so Shuck facing the right-hand hitter Locklear. The only righty hitter in the top 5 in the Liberty order. So this is who Shuck really wants to get. Pitch is in the dirt. Nice play by Brait, 1-0. Leading hitter on the team is in the on-deck circle, and Will Wagner with a .326 batting average. And he already has a hit and has scored a run tonight. The 1-0. Fastball inside corner, good pitch, 1-1.
Liberty has been very patient at the plate, making both FGCU pitchers throw the ball a lot.
Mason Studstill went the first 5 innings, gave up 4 runs. This is Tyler Shuck's first inning of work. Recorded the first 2 outs. Curveball, 2-1.
And he's at 24 pitches so far this inning. Studstill threw 92 through 5 innings.
So that's 116 pitches, and we're in the 6th. So that's on average about 20 pitches in an inning. Backs up what you said about Liberty being patient, making the Eagle pitchers work. 2-1 to Locklear. Fastball grounded. Garcia at third, gets the force at second, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit and a walk, 2 left. Bottom of the 6th we go. Liberty with a 4-3 lead. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Swanson Stadium. The sun has set. The lights have taken full effect. Liberty with a 4-3 lead. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Eagles, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. FGCU has scored all 3 of their runs on a pair of homers. Liberty, after 6 singles, took the lead on a Logan Matthews solo homer in the 5th inning. Andrew McInvale has been in there the distance, but he has had to work hard, Greg, here to see the 6th inning.
Yeah, McInvale, his last inning pitch really helped him out. He only threw 8 pitches. So he's at 85 pitches through 5 innings. He's got the walks that you talked about.
Well, he gives Liberty innings. This his 14th start and his 13th previous. He averaged over 6 innings a start. So the Flames are used to McInvale taking them into at least the 7th, and he's 3 outs away from doing it again. 6, 7, and 8 in the FGCU batting order. Second baseman Eric Gonzalez took a strike. Gonzalez walked in the second, struck out to end the third inning. Joe Kinker and Jalen Townsend to follow. Gonzalez, 292 hitter with 4 homers, 30 RBIs. Wind blowing out to left, and the ball has been traveling very well to left field tonight. Both Eagle homers were fly balls that off the bat did not necessarily look as if they were going out of the park, and both cleared the wall in left field. McInvale ahead 1-2. Fastball, line to right field. Roar coming on, and he misplays it. And it'll roll all the way to the wall. Gonzalez rounding second and heading for third. We'll see how they score it, but the Eagles have the tying run 90 feet away here in the 6th. That was that dangerous level, Greg, where you could lose it in the lights. And I thought late Roar did.
Yeah, similar play earlier in the game with Stevens, and Stevens pulled up, decided not to try to catch that ball. Roar had an easier opportunity to catch it. He was there, and I think you're right. I think he lost it in the lights right at the very end.
It just barely grazed the top of his glove, and he looked at it much like a goalie when they miss a save that they thought they should have, in which he was like, oh, can't believe I missed that. Joe Kinker, the DH,
So
steps
I think
in.
we're looking at a triple there, David.
Well, they ruled it a straight hit. Wondered if they'd rule it a 3-base error, wonder if they'd rule it a hit and a 2-base error, but they ruled it a straight hit. So a leadoff triple for Eric Gonzalez. And here's Kinker. Swing and a miss, and Kinker's 0 for 2. He struck out his first time up and hit a weak comebacker to lead off the 4th inning. And now, third base coach for FGCU coming in to say, hey, come on now, get your head in the game. Some contact even could tie the game up. Brandon Romans kind of walking down the line saying to Joe Kinker, come on. And that in the dirt, and the wild pitch is going to tie the game as Gonzalez scampers home.
Just an all-around gift for FGCU right there, David. The ball that's misplayed could have been an out. Instead goes for a triple. Kinker's down 0-2. Doesn't look like he's even close to making contact. And a wild pitch ties the game.
4-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and action beginning in the Liberty bullpen. And Kinker, with a big swing, fouls it out of play down the right side. 1-2 remains the count.
And he got a good one to hit there too, David.
And he has not looked good at any swing here tonight. But Kinker is second on the team in homers with 6.
Missed a little bit inside.
2-2
McInvale
now.
up into the 90s, 93 pitches.
Now, my guess is they want him to finish this inning. And from a pitch count wise, he's probably still got enough to get it done. The 2-2, and Kinker lays off it, and it breaks low. 3-2 the count. Well, do you challenge Kinker? He's got the power to give the Eagles a lead. The 3-2. And he hits one deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. And it's ruled foul. Just missed the screen and the foul pole by inches. But foul. He tomahawked that one, Greg.
Yeah, that was shoulder-high fastball. He was waiting for it. If this is MLB, we're at a replay right now. I think the umps would look at that immediately, but boy, that was close, David.
No argument from FGCU at all, but it was foul by less than a foot. And will McInvale come back with another fastball, or will he go, you know what?
No.
Maybe an off-speed pitch on the outer part of the plate's a better option.
Absolutely, and he might even get Kinker to chase here.
The 3-2. And it's a curveball low, and Kinker comes back from 0-2 to work out a walk. And now it's the FGCU dugout making a bunch of noise.
David, think about those 3 at-bats. Struck out looking his first time. Had a weak ground ball to the pitcher. Was down 0-2 there and not even looking good in those first 2 pitches. So to be able to draw a walk there, get on base, nobody out, that's huge.
And it brings up Jalen Townsend, who's reached base both times tonight. He had a bunt single back in the second inning, and he walked and scored on the Garcia homer in the 4th. And I don't know if Jonathan Embry, the catcher, and Tyler Gallison, the third baseman, are discussing strategy or if they're buying time for the reliever in the pen. As McInvale is up near 100 pitches. You know how they say in basketball sometimes seeing one free throw go through the nets can change everything about you? In golf, you hit that one good shot. Remember, Kinker had that really good swing on a fastball, and then he had that tomahawk swing, and it almost seems as if a swing changed everything about Joe Kinker in that at-bat.
And I think maybe the pressure was off him on that wild pitch. No pressure to get that run in from third base. And that could have been a big turning point as well.
Well, I believe Scott Jackson's about to take him out because it's now clear to me that he sent 2 players to the mound to buy some time. And he's getting as much time as he can here. Home plate umpire Michael Rash making his way out to the mound.
6 walks, David.
And a wild pitch. And that is it. No signal was ever made by Scott Jackson, but he takes the ball from Andrew McInvale, who went 5+ innings, but gave up the tying run here in the 6th and is responsible for the go-ahead base runner, Joe Kinker, on first. We'll take a quick break, let you know who the new Liberty pitcher is when we come back. 4-4, bottom of the 6th. First place on the line between the Eagles and Flames. Thanks for being with us. Bottom of the 6th inning. The new pitcher for the Flames, junior righty Garrett Price, who has the best earned run average, at least amongst the starting pitchers. He has 1 start on the season, so he's listed as a starter. 7-2 with a 2.68 earned run average, but this is 25th appearance and all but 1 in relief.
He's got 3 saves, David. Probably his most impressive number here is a 201 batting average against. Another good pitcher coming in for Liberty.
And he inherits a no-out base runner on first. I wondered if whether or not Dave Tillett would take Kinker out It's the 6th inning. I think if it was the 7th even, he would do it because there's a chance that Kinker maybe wouldn't have another plate appearance. But in the 6th inning, obviously he's going to come to bat at least one more time. But obviously Kinker does not have a ton of speed at first. Tie game.
And even if it is the 7th inning, with a tie game, you might be looking at extras.
Right. And so it's a difficult decision. Do you take him out, try to get the lead, maybe playing a little small ball because you've got the bottom part of the order, Greg. This is the part of the lineup in which Toe would be most likely to play small ball with Jalen Townsend and Christian Profit up next.
Yeah, and you've got, like you said, not the best speed at first. So on a bunt, if Townsend doesn't deaden that ball, they might have a play at second base.
Well, Townsend with a terrific bunt back in the 2nd inning for a single, and then he walked and scored ahead of Garcia when he hit the 2-run homer to tie it in the 4th. We're tied at 4 here in the 6th, and Townsend takes a fastball from Garrett Price inside, ball 1. Andrew McInvale, much like Mason Studstill, did not have it tonight. 5+ innings, responsible for 4 earned runs, gave up 6 hits, 6 walks, and a hit batter. And Townsend is bunting first base side. Price took a look at second, but will throw it to first, and Townsend has put Kinker in scoring position with 1 away here in the 6th.
So Price looked at second base, decided to go to first, and then smiled at Embry afterwards. Embry made the call, the catcher, to go to first. And I think they both agreed that they probably could have gotten Kinker at second.
But with Christian Profit coming up, hitting a $178 on the season, take the sure out and put the pressure on Profit to deliver.
He's made solid contact, both at bats.
Slide out to right and to center field. Takes a curveball for a strike. Profit came in hitting 178 on the season. Was the ASUN Freshman of the Year last year. Struggled mightily at the plate to start the season. After nearly a month, lost his job to Eric Gonzalez and has been unable to win it back. But due to an injury to Mark Coffers last week, Profit now back in the lineup. And a bad swing at a pitch in the dirt, and he's behind 0-2.
Back-to-back curveballs from Price. Profit was not expecting that one on the second pitch. You got to make contact here to get Kinker over to third base. Anything to get him over.
Because a single to the outfield is not a sure thing to score Joe Kinker from second. Garrett Price ahead of Christian Profit, 0-2. Kinker with a big lead off second. Curveball, and it's grounded up the middle. The second baseman fields it behind the bag, throw in the dirt. Nice play. Wagner fielded it about 2 steps to the shortstop side of the bag and had enough on it, and Logan Matthew dug it out. But Profit at least moves Kinker over to third, where one run has already scored on a wild pitch in this inning.
A little bit of an excuse me swing, but he just made enough contact to get Kinker over. So a good at-bat.
Well, and here's Richie Garcia, who jumped on a bell-tie fastball his last at-bat and hit a 2-run homer to tie the game at 3. Before that, he popped out to second and grounded out to third. And a curveball from Price is called a strike, 0-1. Garcia with a chance to give the Eagles the lead. The juniors hitting .295 on the season, 5 homers, 27 RBIs. The 0-1. Grounded foul. Kinker had to jump over it. If it had hit him, he was in foul ground, so it just would have been the strike. Count now 0-2 is Price doing a good job getting ahead of the hitters.
Price has control of both fastball, curveball.
Well, Garcia hit a fastball for a homer, and he hit that fastball hard. I don't think I'd show him another fastball. The 0-2, all speed in the dirt, 1-2.
Good job by Embry to keep that in front of him.
And I know this is dangerous to do as a hitter, to be guessing when you've got 2 strikes on you, but if I'm Garcia, I don't think I'm going to see another fastball. If he throws one, it would strike me out, I'll tell you that. The 1-2. Change up, big swing and a miss. Made it look like a fastball, but Price strikes out Garcia, and we are tied going to the 7th. A run on a hit. There was a walk and 1 man left. 4-4 after 6 here at Swanson. Well, is this any fun? First place on the line in the A-Sun. A back-and-forth ball game between 2 good teams. Eagles yet to lose a home conference game this year. Liberty's had 2-1, 3-1, and 4-3 leads. And here we are, 4-4 going to the 7th.
Top 2 teams in the A-Sun, as you've said a couple times during our broadcast. Whoever wins 2 of these games is going to be the top seed in next week's A-Sun tournament. Being hosted by Stetson, who is currently in the 6th spot. And the top 6 teams make the A-Sun tourney.
And A-Sun baseball does not do what A-Sun softball does. I prefer the way softball does it, where the first 2 seeds get a bye in the first round. 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, a reward for the regular season. The A-Sun baseball coaches have yet to go that route. Tyler Shuck beginning his 2nd inning of work and misses with a curveball to Will Wagner, 1-0.
Does it make too much sense, David?
Well, it doesn't to me. I mean, more of a reward for the regular season makes the regular season more meaningful. Wagner fouls it away 1-1. He singled and scored back in the 2nd inning. Flied out to left field, grounded out to short. 1 for 3 with a run scored is Will Wagner. Also, it reduces the number of the games in the tournament. And this time of the year, there's a chance of rain everywhere, particularly in the southeast. But, I mean, in all likelihood right now, look at you could almost argue disadvantage that the 1 seed will have to begin the A-Sun tournament next Wednesday. The 2-1. And that one ripped to left center field. Stevens comes over and makes the catch. Might have been the hardest hit ball of the night.
2nd time Wagner has flied out to left field. Big advantage there, and really all night is that slicing ball off the left-handed bat coming back into Stevens' range.
Well, a tremendous job by Liberty. First off, getting 8 hits so far through 6 1/3, but also clearly taking the outside pitches and going to left field better than any team we've seen this year against FGCU pitching. That is now the 9th put out for the left fielder Stevens. That is a lot here in the 7th inning. But getting back to the next week's A-Sun tournament, right now Stetson's the 6th seed because they won the conference last year. They're hosting it this year. That I like, by the way. The 1-0. Grounded to second. Gonzalez fields it on 2 hops. Throws over to Gilmore. 2 quick outs here in the 7th for Tyler Shuck and the Eagles.
And, David, I learned it before the game asking you. I just assumed that if it's a 6-team field, the top 2 would get a bye.
Well, in last week's softball tournament here at FGCU, that's how the softball coaches in the conference have voted to do it. The baseball coaches have not. And so right now, 1 plays 6, 2 plays 5, 3 plays 4 in the first round. But as it so happens, right now the 6 is Stetson. So the reward for the team that wins the A-Sun is to face the home team's best pitcher, and usually the 1 seed plays the first game of the tournament to have the most rest heading into the second day of the tournament. Curveball skied to right field. Hayes is under it, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Shuck in the Eagles. 7th inning stretch time at Swanson. 4-4 between Liberty and FGCU. First place at stake in the A-Sun. Bottom of the 7th at Swanson Stadium. Liberty 4, FGCU 4, 2-3-4 in the FGCU lineup. Alex Brate, Jay Hayes, and Keith Stevens to face the second pitcher for Liberty, Garrett Price, who came in 2 batters into the 6th inning and retired Townsend, Profit, and Garcia, striking out Garcia with the go-ahead run on 3rd. And so he'll begin his first full inning here against left-hand hitting catcher Alex Brate, who gave the Eagles their only lead of the game with a solo homer in the bottom of the 1st inning, and then has then struck out his next 2 times up. Brate takes a fastball for a strike. So whoever takes 2 out of 3 in this series, be the 1 seed, and they could very well play next Wednesday night also at Stetson. I was mentioning normally the 1 seed plays the very first game, the 11 a.m. game, and therefore they get the most rest heading into their second day of play. But Stetson's going to want to play at night at home, get the bigger crowd. And so there are a lot of disadvantages potentially for being the 1 seed as opposed to being the 2 seed, quite frankly, which is unusual. It doesn't happen every year. But as opposed to both these teams, unless one of them were to be swept, and the 2-1 is low, 3-1 to Alex Brate, who, as he showed in his first at-bat, has enough power to give the Eagles the lead. Wind blowing out fairly hard to straightaway left field right now here in the bottom of the 7th. 3-1, and Brate, home run swinging, misses the slider, 3-2. But if the top 2 seeds were to get byes, then you're throwing your number 1 starter against whoever's number 2 the next day, and you've got quite an advantage going forward. It's a reward. Brate reaches down and leads off the 7th with a single to right. And as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Greg, he is not your stereotypical catcher. He is 10 for 10. Stealing bases on the season, tied for the team lead.
So a 4-4 game, bottom of the 7th. And now, do you have much to lose here by taking a few risks? Because what's the worst thing that happens coming out of this weekend? You're the 2 seed.
Well, potentially, if
Assuming
FCC
you
gets
don't get
swept,
swept,
they could drop all the way to 4. Hayes shows bunt, and he takes a curveball for a strike. And needless to say, Jay Hayes has not been called on to bunt very often. A .322 hitter who's 1 for 2 with a walk in this game, leads the team with 8 homers, leads the team with 44 RBIs. But it's a 4-4 game in the bottom of the 7th. Hayes showing bunt, and he does bunt it, and it's a pretty good one. Price fields it, throws to first, and the go-ahead run Braid is at second.
Second sack in the last 2 innings for FGCU. I agree, David. That was a good one. Killed it. Made Price come and make the play. Had no chance of getting Brait at second base.
4-5 hitters due up next. Left fielder Keith Stevens steps in. He's 1 for 1 with 2 walks. Walked in the first, walked in the fifth, singled in the third inning. Alex Brait, the go-ahead run at second. 4-4, 1 out, bottom of the seventh. Fastball inside corner for a strike. Stevens leading the team, coming in with a .329 average. Only 2 homers, 26 RBIs. He's on a roll, though. ASUN Player of the Week last week. Cole Gilmore, who's 0 for 3, and he's hitting to 2 double plays. Waits on deck. Well, Gilmore's got to be thrilled to see Garrett Price because he did all that against McInvale. But first, it's Stevens' chance to give the Eagles a lead. Fouled off, and Price back ahead 0-2. Price, for the most part, has pounded the strike zone. But he fell behind Brait 3-1, eventually came in and gave up a single. The 0-2. High curveball. Stevens couldn't lay off it. Fouled it off.
Not the location Price wanted with that one, I can't assume.
No, I think he was trying to go low and away and got away with one up and in. Pitch was so bad he got away with it. Brait at second with good speed. 1 out. 0-2 to Stevens.
Staying alive.
Well, that was a good pitch there. As Price came with a sinking fastball, Stevens fouled it off. Five strikeouts so far tonight for Liberty pitchers. Wind blowing out pretty hard to left. Left fielder Betts playing very deep. The 0-2, curveball, fouled off. Stevens way out ahead of that one, just got a piece of it.
And David, again, that 0-2 pitch has so much of the plate. Can't be where Price wants to place that ball.
So far in this at bat, he's placed the fastball where he's wanted, but not the curveball. What does he go with here to Stevens? 0-2. And it's a fastball hit deep to left center field. Way back, deep into the night. It is gone. Third homer for the Eagles on the night. Keith Stevens' 2-run shot gives FGCU a 6-4 lead.
0-2 pitch, plate, had him completely off balance on the curveballs, comes with a belt-high fastball at 0-2.
And Stevens was all over it. So Richie Garcia's 2-run homer in the fourth tied it at 3. Keith Stevens' 2-run homer in the seventh gives the Eagles a 6-4 lead. And now Cole Gilmore, who's 0 for 3, takes a strike.
And David, that was a no-doubter. Those other home runs we saw tonight, with the exception of Matthew, except Matthew was It was high up in the air in the gap. That was an absolute bullet, no doubter, out to left center field.
Left fielder Betts, who was deep, took a couple of steps just to look at it, but it was deep over the B&I construction sign in left center field. Gilmore swinging for the fences, misses 1-2.
So what a game for Stevens. Reached base all 4 times, near double-digit putouts in the outfield. Can't ask for a better game.
6-4 Eagles here in the 7th. In the dirt, blocked by Embry, 2-2. So Brait with a solo homer in the first. Garcia's 2-run homer in the 4th tied it. Stevens' 2-run homer in the 7th gives the Eagles a 6-4 lead. And now Dave Tillett has got his pitching just how he wants it.
So you go Shuck one more inning, or you come in with McGarry for a 2-inning save?
Shuck just retired the side on about 7 pitches in the 7th. I'm throwing him back out there. No reason to take him out. And Gilmore off the end of the bat, but fouled down the right field line. I mean, Shuck's retired 4 in a row. I would let Shuck start the 8th. Gilmore takes it low and has worked the count full at 3-2.
Well, only 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Let's worry about our offense a little bit more before we start trying to figure out what we're going to do on the mound next inning.
The 3-2. Swing and a miss at what would have been ball 4, and Gilmore strikes out. He's 0 for 4, 2 away. And up comes second baseman Eric Gonzalez. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. He tripled leading off the 6th inning and scored on a wild pitch. He walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. And it looks as if we're going to have a visit to the mound by Scott Jackson, with 2 outs here in the 7th. There is action in the Liberty bullpen. And this is where, Greg, you're managing for the series. You know, he's got Garrett Price in here, one of his best relievers, if not his best reliever. But how many pitches does he want him to throw trailing? If you know what I mean. And so he's going to take him out now and say, hey, I may need you both tomorrow and Saturday. So I'm saving those pitches. And so with 2 outs here in the 7th, there's a call to the bullpen. We'll take a quick break. FGCU back in front thanks to the 2-run homer by Keith Stevens. 6-4 Eagles here in the bottom of the 7th. Back in a moment. Two outs, bottom of the 7th. And the new pitcher for Liberty is Landon Riley. This is 18th appearance, all in relief. His record's 1-0 with a 2.91 earned run average. He's given up just 12 hits in nearly 22 innings, and teams are hitting a .158 against Landon Riley.
The only negative number he has, 15 walks in 21 2/3 of an inning.
6'1" sophomore out of Hillsboro, North Carolina. So Garrett Price came in, a couple of base runners into the 6th inning, got out of the 6th unharmed, but gave up a hit and a 2-run homer to Keith Stevens here in the 7th, and stands to be the losing pitcher if the Flames cannot come back.
So, David, this is pretty big. They throw their best starter at us in McInvale, and then they bring in their best reliever in Price, and FGCU's got a 6-4 lead on them.
Tyler Shuck, 2 scoreless innings of relief for FGCU. And we'll see whether or not Toe sends him back out there for the 8th, and how quickly will he go to his dominant closer, Hunter McGarry, in this one. But first things first, Landon Riley to face right-hand hitting senior second baseman Eric Gonzalez. Mentioned, walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd, had a triple that right fielder Brandon Rohr lost in the lights, and then he scored on a wild pitch in the 6th. And first pitch swinging, Gonzalez pops out to the second baseman Wagner, and the side is retired. But 2 runs on 2 hits and no men left. We go to the 8th. Eagles with a 6-4 lead over the Flames in a battle for first in the A-Sun. Top of the 8th inning. We wondered how long would Toe wait before going to his closer, Hunter McGarry. The answer is he's not going to wait at all. The junior righty enters the game, his 24th appearance, all in relief. He's got a 6-1 record with a 2.11 earned run average. Teams are hitting a $168 against Hunter McGarry. So Tyler Shuck, 2 scoreless innings of relief. The Eagles trailed 4-3 when he came into the game. He stands to win if Hunter McGarry can get the final 6 outs. For McGarry, he'll face the bottom part of the Liberty lineup. 7, 8, 9, Brandon Rohr, Tyler Gallazin, and Jalen Guy. So Toe putting the foot on the gas and not taking any chances. Did an interview with Dave Tillett earlier this week on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio, and he said about McGarry, don't be surprised if he pitches more and more innings in the A-Sun tournament and beyond. In fact, he even said, don't be surprised if McGarry were to get a start deep in the A-Sun tournament. McGarry's first pitch to Brandon Rohr, called the ball. Curveball, that one called the strike, 1-1. Rohr walked in the 2nd inning and is flied out to left twice. Hunter McGarry on the hill to get 6 outs for the Eagles. FGCU and Liberty separated by a half game in the standings. Whichever team takes 2 or 3 is going to win the A-Sun regular season title and be the 1 seed in next week's conference tournament. 1 and 2 now, McGarry to Rohrer. Not a lot of power in the bottom of the Liberty lineup. Rohrer doesn't have a homer. Galazin's got 2, and Guy's got 1. The 2-2, high chopper. Profit's got to charge it. Scoops it, but the throw is offline, and I don't think he would have got him anyway. So it's an infield single for Rohrer.
That was a great effort by Profit just to make that scoop, make the throw, but possibly even a better play by Gonzalez to have the wherewithal as a second baseman to go back up the first baseman, and he kept Rohrer at first base.
And so the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Tyler Gallazin, who had a 2 RBI single in the second and had a single in the fourth, and he flied out to the warning track in center field his last time up. So he's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And McGarry misses with a fastball, 1-0. I'm on record as saying I would have started Shuck this inning, especially since it's the bottom of the order. The 1-0. Slider for a strike, 1-1.
Rohrer's got 3 stolen bases on the year. You probably don't want to take that risk at this point, though.
No way. No way. Plus, you want to roll this lineup over if you can. Leadoff infield single for Liberty here in the 8th. The 1-1 grounded right side, past Gilmore into right field. Rohrer rounding second and heading to third, and the Flames have runners on the corners with nobody out here in the 8th. 2 ground balls. One a high chopper results in a single, and the other finds a hole because Gilmore is holding the base runner on.
Probably the worst hit ball of the night for Gallazin. And it's the second time he's had a ground ball find an opening in the infield.
Well, Gallison hit one nearly 400 feet for an out last time up, so it's the beauty of baseball right there. Well, here's center fielder Jalen Guy, who's 1 for 3, but the one was an RBI single back in the fourth to give Liberty a 3-1 lead. Tying run at first. Off speed pitch and called a strike. Guy hitting 266 with a homer and now 13 RBIs. Home plate umpire Michael Rash hearing it from the Liberty dugout. Not often an off speed pitch is caught down near the ankles and called a strike.
A lot of late break, David.
That's FGCU's story, and they're sticking to it. The 0-1 curveball popped up in the infield.
Oh, that's big for FGCU.
Shortstop Profit makes the catch. Runners obviously do not advance. 1 away. And while Betts would be difficult to double up, now McGarry seemingly has a shot to get out of this inning. Gray Betts, the leadoff hitter, is 1 for 4. He's flied out to left field 3 times and singled his last time up. Well, now, Greg Anderson, how aggressive, if you're Scott Jackson, will you be here? I mean, you got Rohrer on third. He's not going to go anywhere, but Gallison's 8 for 9 with steals, and obviously a stolen base here keeps you out of the double play. He's not going. Pitch in the dirt. Great block by Brate.
Well, you've got a contact hitter. It's your leadoff hitter. We've talked about Betts a little bit in his first at-bat. He chokes up. He's a croucher. He shrinks his zone. He's made contact all 4 times. You probably don't want to send the runner at this point.
Well, this his 130th at-bat of the season. He's only struck out 13 times. Runners on the corners, one away in the eighth. 6-4 Eagles. The 1-0. Slider just misses on the outside corner. 2-0. Well, McGarry keeps the ball down. And he induces a lot of ground balls. He's trying to get Betts to hit into a double play here, but he's behind 2-0. Fastball called, the strike on the corner. Gallison faked as if he was running. Now the count 2-1.
Garcia's playing even with the bag at third. You got to think if somehow there's a ground ball to him, he's going to check that runner.
Well, I'm wondering, does Scott Jackson put Gallison in motion here? Counts 2-1. Perfect hit and run count. Got your best contact hitter at the plate. The 2-1. Gallison not going, and that one grounded to Profit at short. Flip to second for one. Throw to first. Double play. Hunter McGarry and the Eagles get out of first and third with nobody out in the eighth. And FGCU will take a 2-run lead to the bottom of the eighth. No runs, 2 hits. Nobody left. 6-4 Eagles. Bottom of the eighth at Swanson coming up. Bottom of the eighth inning. A lot of drama to this one, Greg Anderson. FGCU's had 1-0 and 6-4 leads. Liberty's had 2-1, 3-1, 4-3 leads. 4 homers in the game, 3 of them by the Eagles. Closers coming in the eighth inning. Key double plays, none bigger than that one to end the top of the eighth. That Hunter McGarry able to get leadoff hitter Gray Betts to hit into the 6-4-3, the pitcher's best friend, to get out of it.
Yeah, we said it from the beginning. We were expecting a pitcher's duel. This has been not on script. And what I'm looking forward to here is Kinker. We thought that Kinker had a really good at-bat, his last at-bat. He drew a walk. He missed a home run by inches, and maybe that'll get him out of his little funk that he's been in.
Joe Kinker, 0-2 with a walk. Steps to the plate here against Landon Riley in the bottom of the eighth inning. Riley came in to get the final out of the seventh. He threw one pitch and got Eric Gonzalez to pop out to second. Bottom part of the order for FGCU, 7, 8, 9, Kinker, Townsend, and Profit. That one just a little bit low, 1-1. Kinker likely to come out of the game after this at bat for a defensive, although he is the DH. So I'm so used to him being in right field.
Pretty safe to say that
right.
he might stay in the game.
Yes, I'm so used to him being the right fielder. But one of the many changes that the injury to Mark Coffers has caused, Kinker now the DH, and he takes a curveball for a strike, 1-2. Joe second on the team in homers with 6. 2-2. Six, 4 Eagles, bottom of the eighth. Curveball. Skied down the left field line. Foul ground. Out of play. Hits on top of the batting cage, which is located in between Swanson Stadium and Alico Arena.
Well out in front of that one. Another breaking ball that was hanging up and left up. Sure Joe would love another one of those.
Eagles trailed 4-3 in the bottom of the sixth. 2-2 is low, 3-2.
See, he was swinging at those pitches in his first couple at-bats.
And ever since that quality at-bat in the sixth, he has looked much more comfortable in this game. The 3-2. And it's bounced, and Kinker's the leadoff base runner.
Another walk.
And does Toe keep him in the game, or are we going to have a pinch runner?
You called it. There's Coffers.
Well, Coffers, and you
looks
see
to be a bionic arm.
You see the brace on his right arm, but he's healthy enough to pinch hit and pinch run, and so he will do just that. Mark Coffers comes into the game for Joe Kinker after the leadoff walk here in the eighth. Jalen Townsend, bunt single, walk and scored a run, and then a sacrifice bunt his last time up.
And I think you're going to see another one.
Shows bunt, takes it low, 1-0.
I mean, at this point, David, it's a 2-run lead. You might as well try to get an insurance run, get a third one in.
Well, especially since, anybody gets on, the tying run comes to the plate, and Liberty will have the heart of the order up 2-3-4 in the ninth. The 1-0, fastball's high, 2-0.
I thought he offered it that one. But no appeal down to the second base umpire.
I thought he started to. Just kind of almost like a twitch.
Yeah. And Liberty's not saying anything either.
No.
So
Coffers, the pinch runner, was walking his way to second when Riley threw over. Townsend's had two terrific bunts in this game. One for a hit, one for a sacrifice. Third baseman Gallazin on the grass charging. Townsend lays off that one. He thought it was outside. It's called a strike, 2-1. Well, if you're going to take the bunt off, this would be the pitch to do it. 2-1. You got infielders moving all over. You could send Coffers in motion here and see if Townsend could just slap one. The 2-1, he shows bunt, takes it at the knees, 2-2.
it looked like a really good pitch. Townsend looked back at the umpire, wondering where it was, but it looked good from here.
Yeah, I thought it was knee-high on the inside corner. Michael Rash agreed. So now Townsend has to protect the plate. The 2-2, swing and a miss in the dirt. Good job by Landon Riley to come back and get Townsend without allowing him to advance. The pinch runner Coffers, one away.
Now batting for your Eagles shortstop number 21, Christian Prophet.
6th strikeout for Liberty pitching tonight. One away. Here's the 9th hitting shortstop, Christian Prophet. 0 for 3 tonight. $178 on the season coming in. 8 RBIs to his credit. First pitch swinging, fouls it back out of play. It has been a season to forget at the plate for Prophet. But you know it's there after what he did last year, Greg Anderson.
Well, the bottom line is you don't get to this mid-level Division I baseball without having it in you. Just a matter of finding it for him right now.
The 0-1 curveball hit off the end of the bat. Guy coming in, he dives and he trapped it. And Coffers, paying attention, was halfway and is able to get to second in time. That was off the end of the bat, and it's why Guy misread it, because he went back on it because it sounded like it was hit well, and it came off the bat high initially, but it was off the end of the bat. And by the time Guy recognized that, he couldn't recover in time, so Profit with a one-out single, and the Eagles have first and second for the top of the order and Richie Garcia.
Hey, and if you're Profit, you'll take anything right now.
Absolutely. Garcia's 1 for 4, but the one was big. It was a 2-run homer in the fourth that tied this game at 3. Curveball up and in, nearly hit him. So Garcia's at the plate, he's homered. Brait's in the on-deck circle, and he's homered. And the Eagles' best hitter would be the third to follow. 1-0, breaks low, 2-0.
David, just all around a game that Liberty is going to want to turn the page on at the end of the night, win or lose. Just have not been very sharp for a top 50 RPI team.
First and second, 1 out. 3-0 the count now to Garcia. Now, I don't know how advanced the Liberty scouting report is on Garcia, but I've seen him swing 3-0 this year. Richie will jump a fastball whenever he gets one. The 3-0, and he started the swing at that fastball, took it on the inside corner for a strike. You know what I was getting at there. You couldn't groove one there because he's playing with house money here up 6-4.
Yeah.
The 3-1. Fastball, and he's swinging. But good job by Riley to get it in on his hands once again. Count full at 3-2. You send the runners here?
I'm thinking about it so much I can't even answer.
Really good speed with both Coffers and Profit.
So I guess that's a no.
The 3-2.
Hold on, ask me again.
You sending the runners here?
No, David, with a 6-4 lead, I think I let the hot-hitting Garcia do his thing at the plate.
All right, you chew on that beef jerky over there. The 3-2. Fell back. Runners weren't going, for the record. Well, Riley's fastball has got to be pretty good because Richie Garcia is a nearly 300 hitter, and he's a good fastball hitter. And Riley's been behind in the count the whole way, and his fastball right now is beating Garcia at the plate. We'll try it again, the 4-3-2 pitch, and he bounces a curveball, and the bases are loaded for Alex Brait.
7 walks tonight, David, that FGCU has been gifted by Liberty.
Along with a wild pitch that tied the game. There was also a hit batsman. Alex Brait's 2 for 4. Solo homer in the first. Pair of strikeouts in the middle. Singled and scored on Stevens' go-ahead 2-run homer in the 7th. Brait, as we've mentioned, has very good speed with 10 steals. So even though he's a catcher, if he hits a ground ball, he'll be tough to double up. Good curveball by Riley, 0-1. Matthew at first is playing behind Garcia. Middle infielders at double play depth. Shortstop Locklear close to second. Gallows in the third baseman off the bag. And Brait hits one to fairly deep left field. Betts trying to get a running start, makes the catch. Coffers is going to score, and the Eagles lead it 7-4.
And there is that hugely important insurance run that we were talking about there. Gives FGCU a 3-run lead. Betts does a good job of getting the ball into third base. Does not allow Profit to advance.
So the leadoff walk to Kinker comes back to haunt Riley and the Flames. 7-4 FGCU, 2 out, 2 on, bottom of the 8th inning. Gives Hunter McGarry, the Eagles closer, a little bit more breathing room for the 9th. Jay Hayes, first pitch, takes it down low for a ball. Jay singled in the first, walked in the third, flew out to center field in the 5th, and had a sacrifice bunt to move Brayton to scoring position.
You know, I think Hayes has one thing on his mind here, David, and that's a long ball. He's been watching the ball sail all night. Got a comfortable 3-run lead.
Check swing on a fastball up and in. 2-0. Well, Hayes leads the team with 8 homers and leads the team with 44 RBIs. Eagles have scored in 4 of the last 5 innings. The 2-0, big swing and a miss, 2-1. That swing backed up your theory. 9 hits and what, 7 walks?
7 walks.
Given up by Liberty pitching tonight, and they came in best pitching staff in the A-Sun. 2-1s in the dirt, 3-1.
Embry has done a fantastic job tonight behind the plate, blocking a lot of balls in the dirt. You know, it's hard to say. It's like a flip of the coin. Who do you want in the A-Sun as a catcher? Braid or Embry? Both just solid players, both offensively and defensively.
Tell you what, a lot of good catchers in this conference this year. 3-1 count to Hayes. High changeup, and he gets away with it. 3-2. Hayes looking fastball. Off-speed pitch fooled him. If you're Riley, you'd throw it again. Hayes is going to be looking fastball.
He just threw a fastball by him, though. Probably come back with a fastball, outer half.
3-2, 2 outs. Runners going. Hayes rips one to right center field. Guy on the run comes over and makes the catch. Hayes hit it hard, but a line shot that the center fielder runs down, and the side is retired, but not before the Eagles get a hit, 2 walks, and a sacrifice fly and add to their lead. It'll be 7-4 FGCU as we play the 9th here at Swanson Stadium. Top of the 9th here at Swanson Stadium. 1 defensive change for the Eagles. Corey Clement comes into first to replace Cole Gilmore. 7-4, Eagles lead it.
Well, David, biggest win of the year, March 6th at the time, number 5 Florida. Second biggest win of the year tonight if they could pull this one out?
Would give the Eagles a 1.5 lead with 2 to play. Obviously, Liberty would have to win the last 2 games of this series to be the 1 seed. Hunter McGarry, who gave up a pair of singles to start the 8th inning and then got a pop-up and a double play ball to get out of it. He'll face the heart of the Flames order, 2-3-4, Jonathan Embry, Cam Locklear, and Will Wagner. Embry 0 for 2 with 2 walks. And he takes a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Embry leads Liberty with 9 home runs. All the power in the Liberty lineup are the first 4 hitters of this inning. They've combined for 24 home runs on the season and make it 25 because Matthew hit a solo homer back in the 6th.
If you're McGarry, you got to feel pretty good. That 8th inning, he gave up the 2 singles, but ground balls. One was an infield hit. He induced the double play with another ground ball.
1-1 to Embry. That one grounded, right side, takes a big hop and goes over Clement's glove. And so Liberty catches a break there. It's a hit.
It's a tough hop that hit off the lip. Got off Corey's glove a little bit, though, but that's just a tough break for Clement and FGCU.
Leadoff single for Embry and the Flames, and now they've got 3 more opportunities to get one guy on and bring the tying run to the plate. And that's the beauty of that bonus run in the 8th inning, because now Cam Locklear is not the tying run. Locklear 0 for 3, and he reached in the 3rd when he was hit. Gary misses 1-0. This is the only righty that McGarry is going to face for a little while because both Wagner and Matthew are left-handed hitters. 1-0, low 2-0.
Not sure where that one missed.
I think he said it was low, but that's the pitch that McGarry wants. That's where he wants to live. For Cam Locklear here, I think you got to take a pitch. Got to get that tying run to the plate. The 2-0, and that's what McGarry was thinking as he just threw a batting practice fastball for a strike.
You think he was told to take that? I'm a hitter. I'm your 3-hitter. 2-0, down a couple runs.
Junior 3-hole hitter? I don't
Swing
think
bat.
so. Yeah, I think he took that on his own. The 2-1 just misses. McGarry even looks into the dugout and gives it the whoa sign. So a couple of close pitches knock on McGarry and FGCU's way, and now the Eagles closer is behind Cam Locklear 3-1. If he walks him, tying run comes to the plate. Three 1. 5-pitch walk. So Embry reaches via the fortunate bounce. McGarry misses on some close pitches for a 5-pitch walk. Second inning in a row against Hunter McGarry. The first 2 are aboard. And second baseman Will Wagner is the tying run. He singled and scored in the second inning. Slide out to left twice and grounded out to short. 1 for 4. Wagner takes it on the outside corner for a strike. Wagner, leading hitter for Liberty at .326, came in having homered in his last 2 games. Hunter McGarry has given up 1 home run on the season. The 0-1. And McGarry's got him picked off. But Embry dives back in ahead of the throw. Pick-off play there. Eagles worked it about as good as they could, but Embry stayed just close enough to second to avoid the pickoff.
Yeah, McGarry just didn't have enough on that ball to profit, but it was perfect opportunity and perfect timing for that play.
The 0-1 to Wagner, who shows bunt, and it's foul.
I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah, because if it's fair, that's a hit. Because needless to say, the Eagles weren't looking for that.
No.
But now Wagner's behind McGarry 0-2. Remember, the guy on deck hit a bomb to right center field to give Liberty a 4-3 lead back in the 5th inning. So if you're Wagner, get on board any way you can. That guy on deck's a go-ahead run.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got 7 homers on the season. And he's the leading RBI man on the team. The 0-2 just misses outside. 1-2. Embry led off the 9th, getting a fortunate bounce off of the first baseman's glove. Clement into right field. Locklear worked out a walk. Here's McGarry against Will Wagner, who swings and misses, but the throw gets away from Brait, but there is nowhere for Wagner to go. Now the runners move up 90 feet to take the double play out of order. But first out of the 9th for McGarry and the Eagles, 1 away, 2nd and 3rd now. And the tying run is Logan Matthew. He's got 7 homers, and he's got 46 RBIs on the season. 2nd on the team in homers, leading the team in RBIs. And Dave Tillett's going to go to the mound.
So, Captain Obvious here, you want to keep the ball in the ballpark. That's the most obvious statement right now. But
there you go.
You want to get outs. It's a huge strikeout. Yes, the runner's advanced, but get outs here.
Well, there's no doubt if you're FGCU, you'll trade a run for an out right here. Because the guys on 2nd and 3rd, I mean, they don't mean anything if you get the next 2 guys out. Next 4 batters in the Liberty lineup combined have hit 4 home runs this year. Now, Coach Jackson obviously can go to his bench, but right now this is clearly the biggest threat that Liberty is going to send to the plate here in the 9th inning. It's Logan Matthew. As I mentioned, 1 for 4, but that one was a 400-plus foot home run in the 5th inning, which gave Liberty then a 4-3 lead. Big swing and a miss. McGarry keeps it down 0-1.
Looks like Matthew was sitting on a fastball. He got it, but just a good spot that McGarry.
Well, McGarry's got that sinking fastball. And it is really tough to square up because it sinks late. The 0-1 just misses. McGarry trying to catch that outside corner with the sinking fastball. 1-1.
It looked like the exact pitch that Matthew swung at.
McGarry came in the 8th, trying to get a 6-out save. Off-speed pitch, big swing and a miss by Matthew, 1-2.
That was a great pitch. He kept that on the outer half, broke back in late, but Matthew just had the timing way off.
You got to have a lot of guts to throw that pitch in this spot. You really do. That's a closer who's confident, who's been in this situation. And now if you're Matthew, you're like, oh, man, what's he going to throw me? The 1-2. Fastball, fouled off at the plate. Well, you got to look fastball, and if he throws another straight change for a strike, you just got to tip your cap. First and second, 1 out, top of the 9th. Logan Matthew, the tying run, 7-4 Eagles. The 1-2, swing and a miss at that changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts for McGarry. And the Eagles are an out away.
He's got such great arm movement that you just can't pick up that change out of his hand. He's got great tempo in his delivery. Great pitch.
Well, Liberty's last chance is Ben Highfill, the designated hitter. He singled and scored in the second, singled and scored in the fourth, grounded out to short and flied out to right. He's 2 for 4. He has just 1 home run on the season, but he came into this game hitting over 350 in his last 10 games. And McGarry with a slow curve on the corner for a strike. Highfill, a junior out of North Carolina. Highfill's 2 career home runs. The 0-1 at the knees, 0-2. Not much you can do with that pitch. I'll throw that one again.
McGarry's 1 walk, a couple base hits, but he hasn't been hit hard. All 3 of the base hits could have been outs, possibly. So he's pitching with some confidence.
McGarry and the Eagles a pitch away. The 0-2. 1-2.
Real good 0-2 pitch. Nothing that Highfill really could have done with that. Sort of surprised that he laid off it.
Second and third, 2 out, but they don't matter. The tying runs at the plate. The 1-2 to Ben Highfill. Swing and a miss as McGarry strikes out the last 3 to save it for the Eagles. FGCU wins it 7-4, 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors. 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Flames. The Eagles hit 3 homers. The go-ahead game-winning homer, Keith Stevens, a 2-run shot in the 7th, gave the Eagles a 6-4 lead. FGCU needs to win either tomorrow or Saturday. 1 win against Liberty will clinch the top seed in next week's A-Sun tournament.
I said it before, if you're Liberty, you can't be too pleased with the way you pitched tonight. You hit the ball okay. 7 walks, a hit batter, some misplayed defensive plays. Huge win for FGCU to take advantage of everything they were given.
Eagles trailed 2-1, 3-1, 4-3. Tied it in the 6th at 4. Stevens' 2-run homer in the 7th gave him a 6-4 lead. Tacked on the insurance run in the 8th. McGarry pitched out of trouble in both the 8th and the 9th to record the save. Tyler Shuck gets the win in relief. And McGarry gets his 9th save of the season. Your final from FGCU, Eagles 7, Flames 4. Thanks so much for watching and listening here on YouTube Live.